complete darkness, and the remote location are listed as challenges for the trip. While the website says, join our expedition, it is not known whether this comes at a cost similar to the $250,000 OceanGate charged citizen explorers to see the Titanic wreckage. The ad for the mission reads, the next frontier for our team is in the underwater depths of Dean's Blue Hole. In the first descent of crewed submersibles equipped with LED lights and underwater drone technology, our scientists will be able to venture into some of Earth's least hospitable conditions in search of unprecedented findings. It is not known what type of submersible will be used for the mission.
Oh, good. And you know what? I do think this is interesting. I think they should probably just send down a unmanned submersible to take a look around and gather up the remains. I also think that would probably show a lot more respect for the families of those people if they didn't turn it into a tourism expedition.
This is very much tempting fate.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I think the whole world would be interested in seeing some of this stuff. Let's just send a camera down there. Instead, they have, that's the problem, is they have to get funding for this stuff. And so they're asking people to pay a bunch of money to basically conduct experiments. And that is funny because going back to that guy, the investor from Las Vegas, who Stockton Rush gave a $100,000 discount to, it is wild to see that is almost a 50% discount.
Yeah.
Of course that's gonna be a red flag.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of rich people probably saw what happened last year, and they're like, well, RIP to them, but I'm built different. Yeah. Send me down on the next one.
We all know lightning never strikes twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, one of the greatest storylines that I was going to talk about this week, but unfortunately they did end up losing a game, was the fact that during the Grimace era, the Mets had not lost a game in like 8 games or so. And it was a fun storyline. You had Gay Grimace throwing out the first pitch, potentially having an affair with Mrs. Met.
Wait, I thought he was gay.
Well, you know, maybe he's bi, and we should respect that.
Okay.
But regardless, it put the Mets on a winning streak, and they weren't doing so well. So it was a very fun time to be sort of watching the Mets from a distance.
Well, cool.
Yeah, can't wait for the next baseball storyline, because they're always fun.
Yeah.
Always a lot of fun.
A lot of great baseball
That's what happens when you have 3 hours of gameplay in the sun.
And like
lots of drunk
263 games a year. Yeah, lot of opportunities for things to happen.
All right, we'll be back with some weird news on Weekly Weird News very soon. But in the meantime, make sure you hit the like button. Please do it. Please smash the like button.
Come on.
You've been doing good. I think you can do a little bit better. If you're one of those people who's like, someone else will take care of it for me. No, click it right now. Also, make sure you're subscribed. This episode wasn't sponsored, obviously, so click the join button if you're feeling frisky, and watch our 2 previous videos over here. We got an episode of Tech News. We got another episode over here for you, and we have Weekly Weird News coming up soon. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to XDEFIANT. Another short little news update video here today, and the news is good. Yesterday we talked about how they plan on revamping Weapon XP and how all that works, because the feedback to their changes to Mastery Camus especially has not exactly been met with a positive reception. Well, today they posted to social media that the next patch, which right now is still to be determined, we don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but probably in the next couple of days, they say that they're going to be making Weapon XP go ridiculously quick. So here we have this image. Earlier this week, we made the mastery system unlock at higher levels, making it take longer to unlock mastery skins. We heard the feedback. Weapon XP will now go twice as fast. Ranks will now take 1,500 XP from 3,000 on primary weapons and 500 XP from 1,000 on secondary weapons. They're also going to be doing a number of bug fixes by bringing back the sound you get when you get kills, as well as fixing the bug that some people have ran into where when they're meleeing or something like that, where you can't do anything with your character for the rest of the game besides a move. So those things are going to be fixed, but 1500 XP to level up a primary weapon is pretty freaking crazy. For context, when the game first came out, weapon XP for a primary weapon was 3500 and secondary weapons was 1500. Well, now after these two changes here, primary weapons are going to be 1500 and secondary weapons are going to be 500. Weapons are going to be leveling up ridiculously quickly here. For context, that's basically going to feel like you have more than double XP on by default while leveling up your guns. And of course, that's going to make it a lot easier to unlock all of your attachments and then eventually, subsequently, get your mastery camos of bronze, silver, gold. Then the new mastery camos are going to be coming out in season 1. I'm interested to see how this patch is going to go and how it's going to make leveling feel within the game, because I have a feeling this is either going to be a temporary change or this may just end up being how they plan on handling things moving forward. Mark Ruben has said on Twitter that he was open to the idea of allowing players to get weapon XP from playing the objective. I personally think that would be fantastic for XDefiant because it would get more people on the flags, because right now the only real path of progression in the game is to get those mastery camos, and the only way to get weapon XP is through kills and assists. So if your only goal is to level up your guns faster and get those camos, well, ignoring the objective is honestly your best route. I don't recommend that. I try to win every game I play, but that's the hard truth. If you want to level up your guns quickly, you're better off ignoring the objective because kills and assists are all that matter. Well, now your weapons are going to be leveling up a lot faster than before, but we still have that same problem where they're not really encouraging people to play the objective, and I think that would be fantastic for the game if fans were encouraged to play the objective and rewarded for doing so. With how fast weapon XP is going to be after this new update, I don't see them adding in objective score on top of that, right? Like, it's already going to be ridiculously quick for us to level up our guns and get our mastery camos and everything. So as a result, I don't see them anytime soon anyway adding in objectives to your weapon XP, because at that point things would go absurdly quick, and they don't want people to level up that fast within the game. They still want people to have things to grind for, things to do, and things to look forward to every time they sign into the game. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. Overall, this does seem like a positive update. It's definitely a step in the right direction, and I applaud the XDefiant devs for coming out so soon and giving us this feedback, letting us know what they plan on changing. I'm just curious as to when the update is going to go live and how everything is going to feel and what that community feedback is going to be like, because we've learned so far that community feedback here at XDefiant is heard by the developers and changes are made based on that feedback. So it'll be interesting to see for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this short little news update video here today. Weapon XP is about to get ridiculously quick here in this game. It sounds like they are not going to be changing the goalpost anytime soon, so still it's going to be level 100 for bronze, 150 for silver, and 200 for gold. We're just going to be leveling up a lot faster. Guys, that's it for this video here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments, and stay tuned for my next video because I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. But until then, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
I mean, I didn't plan on any of this, but it kind of happened. So I was like, all right, this is what's happening. So how do we make the best of it? You know, it's an opportunity. So I'm definitely going to take the best of it. I don't really like the 9-to-5 jobs anyway. So if I could get into, you know, some sort of conservative media, that would be the plan, obviously. I mean, I'm not kissing your ass. Like, I'm just going to give an honest opinion of what I thought. And
Team Deathmatch, baby! Ooh.
My opinion on the whole America First thing is obviously that's the direction we need to go. My critique is it's so cringe, it's so cliquey, it's so niche that you're excluding a lot of normal people. Anyone's club, I'm just saying exactly how I feel about it. So first of all, let's just start off there. So this account is posting pictures of my toddler around, putting my toddler in danger. Low blow. I'm not trying to hide anything. You little cowards hide behind your anonymous accounts and you expose pictures of my toddler so that the world can attack him. So the America First, they've got some good points. However, it was a weird vibe up there. Like, as a normal person who's not like part of this political sphere, I don't know about this. It was a weird vibe. They were almost allergic to women.
Does Kevin McGinnis still have a fucking show? What a slime ball. Fuck you.
It was kind of a weird, like almost low-T vibe I got there. So yeah, I mean, I have the right to say that. They are kind of weird. That's just a fact. Like, if you don't want weirdos, you know, representing your whole movement, maybe let some normal guys in.
I wasn't actually going to make another video on the racist TikTok tradwife, and I was actually going to make a video today about conservative influencers pushing raw milk onto people, but I think I'll save that for next week, and I already have my third video recorded for this week anyway. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about it because not that there's been a massive update, but she seems to be digging herself into an even bigger hole by directly calling out people in the America First movement. But this comes just after she met a bunch of them and even posted a Nick Fuentes speech talking about how great it was, and now she's directly coming after them for not being normal enough or something. And it just shows you, and I think shows a lot of conservative grifters now, you can't just like wade into this grift thinking conservative is like a catch-all term, especially when in the background what's been brewing for a long time is like the DeSantis versus Trump factions, which basically boils down to like far-right nationalists versus far-right neocon. And although they might agree on a whole host of issues, like what they think of trans people, what they think of gay people, what they think of immigrants, minority groups, all that good stuff, the main thing they disagree on is America's role in the world. And of course, as I've said in this channel, both sides are very anti-Semitic. There's just one side that are far more explicit about it, to the point that they're not going to accept any people they think are Jews into their movement, and they oppose Israel simply because they hate Jews, right? And our racist TikTok tradwife, again, in my opinion, isn't too bright, because if I was her trying to be a grifter, I'd firmly pivot away from the far right, and I'd pivot more towards like the audience of the Daily Wire. But of course, when you're only favoured for saying a racial slur, these conservatives are going to be less eager to pick you up. Like, I'm not saying Ben Shapiro couldn't get away with saying that, but Ben Shapiro also is not going to say that, is he? Most of the hosts at the Daily Wire are not going to say that. And I think she's put herself in between both these camps, because if you go on her Twitter feed, she's still tweeting like slurs all the time, and if you watch her TikTok, she's still just dropping slurs all the time. But at the same time, she's calling out the people who would actually like her for that. So, come on, grifters, get better. You're not getting anywhere with this grift if you just alienate all sides. So I just want to give like a quick update and look at two videos she's posted. She posted one on her Twitter, calling all these people out, basically, and then she went on Gavin McInnes' show. Didn't even know this guy was still a thing. And basically said the same stuff. Basically said, you know, everyone in America First is a weirdo, not a normal person, and you should be more accepting of everyone or we're never going to win, which feels like just pure self-preservation on this part from her, not that she actually wants everyone to be accepted. So yeah, all of that coming up. Might be like a short video again, but yeah, check out my Patreon page if you want to support my work, and you can get access to videos early. Hopefully this one will be like a day early at least, and also get access to the Discord server. And like I shouted out in my last video about this, check out my new podcast with David Dole of the Rational National and Mike from Human Support, and that is just purely about video games, and that is up on my second channel, the Tabernacle Extra, right now. So it stands to reason, at least most of you know who this person is. If you don't, basically this woman was making like tradwife content or just general conservative content, started dropping a few slurs in her videos, and then said the N-word while she was cooking something on TikTok. It exploded, she got fired from her job, loads of liberals, you know, criticising her, hating on her, as they, you know, should tell her it's wrong to say that. And then conservative media started boosting her. But as we discussed in my last video, and go check that out, basically conservative media started boosting her when she quickly found out that the Conservatives are not the same Conservatives that you could easily grift to like in the past. Their brains are just firmly fried by Twitter. So, as I showed in the video, they started transvestigating her. They started talking about her child and posting pictures of her child who isn't white, and then they started pulling up old tweets about her having like an ex-Muslim Iranian boyfriend and saying shit about that as well, and finding old tweets where she supported Israel. So they're using all of that to basically say she is a psyop, and at the very least we don't like her for a whole host of misogynistic, racist and transphobic reasons. So firmly the America First type people on Twitter have rejected her. But she actually went to these conferences in person. She met with actual like hardcore fascists and is posting with them, talking about how nice they are, while again just keeps posting slurs and really racist shit on Twitter. But then also she met the people, or the types of people who've been trolling her online, and she made a 7-minute video talking about this. I might stop this in the middle, but I'm going to play some of you it now and just talk about this, because she's complaining about the harassment she's been getting, and she's complaining about the safety of her child, which of course I understand how dangerous being a public figure can be, especially in regards to the safety of your children. Did this person maybe think to keep their child safe, they shouldn't become a conservative grifter who's only famous for saying like the worst racial slur, like maybe? But let's have a look at this video.
So, like, you know, like this all blew up overnight, and I kind of got thrown into this whole scene. So I was like, okay, I better go up there and like, you know, meet some people and talk to people, see the different opinions, and just learn. I'm just learning at this point. I'm like, you know, I'm like one of the normies that's waking up. First we went to Turning Point. I thought Turning Point was kind of lame, to be honest. It was very low energy. We weren't there for that long anyway, but I mean, it was cool. Like, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. Everybody there was really sweet. We met a lot of solid people, like good working, hard-working American people. Anyway, we left there and then we went to AFPAC, and it got canceled and whatever. So a lot of people are mad at me because I'm kind of going hard. Like, they think I'm really like hating on the the America First movement. I mean, I'm not kissing your ass. Like, I'm just gonna give an honest opinion of what I thought, and my opinion on the whole America First thing is obviously that's the direction we need to go. My critique is it's so fringe, it's so cliquey, it's so niche that you're excluding a lot of normal people. You know, most people don't know who Nick Fuentes is. Like, you've got a good message, so you just need to figure out how to like get more people involved, you know? And I think you have to do that by, you gotta stop being so cliquey. Like, I mean, if you wanna be a clique and you wanna have your little frat, like, that's cool, but you're not really gonna make any difference in the country in the long run, because it's fringe and it's a very, very small group of people.
So it's pretty clear this person hasn't studied how to be a conservative grifter 101, not least because they actually said they wanted to quit their 9-to-5 job to become like a conservative media personality. But also now, like I said, you've become famous for saying a racial slur, so you've already narrowed your horizons in the conservative grifter sphere. Then you're going to Turning Point, and you're going to like an America First thing with all these fascists who actually would like you for doing this, and you're calling both of them out for being first boring and then for being a weird clique, but saying like you agree with their message. Now, like, does she agree with their message? I mean, it seems like based on her old Twitter account, she's just a pretty stereotypical conservative neocon that happens to like saying slurs. I don't know if she actually agrees with these policies anyway, but it's a good thing for grifting. But if you're gonna grift in that direction, you can't then just be calling people out. And it's just so funny how she just doesn't understand what she's gotten herself in for. And I would have more sympathy if this person just didn't have a history of just being terrible. Like, as you saw in that video where she says the racial slur, that's not the only thing she talks about. She talks about immigrants fresh off the boat. She says loads of racist shit in the video before she gets to that. I think a lot of people miss that part. And then throughout all her videos, she's just so venomous and hostile and just says so much terrible shit, right? So it's hard to have sympathy for her, but she's really just gone in with a blindfold on into the lion's den, and she thinks it's going to end well. And she says, and let's say I believe her, she says, obviously, the harassment against her child is not okay. People posting pictures of her child is not okay. And we're gonna look at that in a sec. But also, come on, he became famous for saying slurs. He made a whole video about how white people in America have to have more kids so America can stay white. And then you're getting mad when actual fascists find your child and post pictures of him to prove that you have a child that doesn't have pale skin, right? So you're putting your child in danger. If you care about your child, stop doing this, stop saying these things, and stop antagonizing like literally the most unhinged group of people on the internet. So I just want to show you a clip of her talking about this. And I'm just like, are you surprised this is happening? Did you think all these people would be perfectly nice, like very civil? You're not dealing, like I said in my other video, you're not dealing with the fake civility of what the 2010s conservatives. You're dealing with this new age of conservatism, which doesn't give a shit about what it does.
I don't know if I should even do this. Some people would tell me not to address this, but there is an account, and I just want to call it out. I think it's called like AF Movement or something. I mean, don't quote me on that. I don't know. I can't remember. But that's the account that like first exposed my child. So let's just address the first thing. What kind of sick motherfucker exposes somebody's child? What kind of sick, depraved, vile human being gets pictures of someone's child, someone's baby, and posts it on the internet so that all the wacko, crazy people out there can now try to come to my house, try to kidnap my child, try to hurt my child, try to send me threats that involve my child now? You say whatever you want about me. I don't even care about that. I came in here not caring about, I'm not trying to kiss anyone's ass, I'm not trying to be in anyone's club, I'm just saying exactly how I feel about it, and you fuckers are mad about that. Because if this is one of these, quote, America First groiper guys, that fucking look, dude, that look. Like, what kind of a lowlife are you? You don't have the balls to come up to me and little cowards type into behind your anonymous accounts, and you expose pictures of my toddler so that the world can attack him. That's sick. That's depraved. Is that what you want? Oh, because I called you stupid? Because I called you autistic? Because you are! And if you want your damn movement to grow, how about you start letting in other horrible people?
So in this video, she's dropping slurs again. Like, it's just like absolutely unbelievable. Because, like, who are you kidding at this point? You're just ranting about how you hate the people who would actually like you dropping slurs like this. Like, it's just insane to me. Maybe that's just so in their vocabulary, they just can't turn it off ever if they get mad. But yeah, clearly you're mad about this. You're mad about the harassment. You're mad about the threats of safety to your child. And again, how can you not see it? If you see all the comments of this, it's just loads and loads of people hating on you, saying terrible shit about you. And again, if you cared about your child above all else, you would probably think twice about staying on this path, meeting actual fascists constantly, and embedding yourself within this ecosystem, especially when you've already got a taste of what they will do to you. So once you've got this taste, you have people harassing your kid, posting pictures of your child online, and actually harassing you. Most people would say, okay, you know, I wanted this conservative media career for saying the N-word, but my child's safety is more important. Why don't I just like disappear? Or why don't I stop engaging with these people? But she's just online, constantly tweeting, going on interviews at the moment, doing all this stuff. And it's only going to get worse. You think drawing more attention to yourself is going to make it better. And here's the thing, you're not going to be a successful media personality anyway. I can tell you that for free. So you're just putting your kid in danger and you're not getting the benefit. Are you so blinded by clout that you're going to sacrifice your kid for this? And of course, yes, someone who got famous for saying a racial slur and doubles down being even more racist, do I think they're probably like not a nice person? and maybe they might do other bad things, then yeah, sure. But at the same time, like I said, the lack of self-preservation here, or the lack of taking their safety into account, especially as like a woman going into this like insanely misogynistic movement as well, I just don't get, to be honest. And I just, you know, is the drive for clout really worth this, no matter like what side you're on? Now, she's actually been doing more interviews, and I saw this just before I came on. Like I said, I didn't know Gavin McInnes was a thing, but again, loads of people like just hating on her, and she's trying to be like an edgelord, saying like all the slurs again. I don't know who this is for at this point, but she does make a comment about the America First people, so I just want to play you that.
Liberals all hate you because you're popular and not ugly, and
Because you're popular, not ugly, not because you said the N-word. Gavin McInnes, you brainless fuck.
the worst for them. I think the worst thing you can be as far as censorship and attacks, most over the target, is attractive to young people. That's the DNC's nightmare. So that's when they really pull out the big guns. But now you're also...
These right-wing jokers live in a fucking fantasy world. Fuck you. I'm not talking about the woman. I'm talking about Gabby. She's cute. But she's evil. Bye-bye.
Also getting attacked from and then the media normal right is mad you went to AFPAC and associated with Groypers. But now the Groypers are saying all kinds of shit about you. Like a picture with an Israeli flag, and they say you have a mixed kid, and what do you say to those accusations?
Well, I mean, okay, I don't care who it pisses off, and I've got the right to say it. When I went up there, like, there was a lot of cool dudes. They have awesome points. Like, the America First, they've got some good points. However, it was a weird vibe up there. Like, as a normal person who's not, like, part of this political sphere, I don't know about this, it was a weird vibe. They were almost allergic to women. It was kind of a weird, like, almost low-T vibe I got there. So
low-T vibe. Oh, this lady. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to...
Speaking of, you're hanging out with Gavin McInnes, you're talking about low-T.
I have the right to say that. They are kind of weird. That's just a fact. Like, if you don't want weirdos, you know, representing your whole movement, maybe let some normal guys in. But yeah, I can appreciate a solid critique of them. Those guys, they've never been in a fight. Like, those guys were very, you know, like posh, perfect little dudes. And they need some guys in there that's more, you know, rough and tumble, that's a little bit more cool. Like, they need some help. I mean, I don't really give a fuck because I'm not part of the group, which I don't get why they care what I think. I mean, I'm not trying to join your club. I think it's...
Are you cancelable?
I mean, they already got me fired, so they've already doxed my address and whatever. You know, I mean, I got guns. I've like know how to shoot. I'm actually a pretty good shot, believe it or not. I've got like cops.
This dumb ass lady just ruined her life.
And stuff, so I'm not too worried about it, and you know, it is what it is. Like,
and for what? To be a racist? Cool.
I don't care.
I mean, the thing is, out of everything she's ever said, she's not wrong in talking about like all these like far-right dudes basically being like allergic to women and incels. Like, she was right there. Never being in a fight. I mean, wouldn't say that is like something to be proud of, but yeah, like, you know, the types of people this movement typically appeals to, and it's people who have issues, really. It's people who have low self-esteem. It's people who are just looking often for community, and they find it on these like online message boards or these communities. Because when you see documentaries of this type, I remember the Louis Theroux documentary about Nick Fuentes. It's just crazy how pathetic most of these people are, and how you can just link that with their politics and just like what they do generally online. It's just like so transparent. At the same time, she's saying all this stuff, and like I said, if you care about the safety of a child, she talks later about having guns and stuff, I would just say, don't do this. Like, yeah, it's funny for us to watch because it's the right wing fighting each other, but like, it seems like she's just in over her head at this point, because she thinks, you know, I am a normal conservative. I used to support Israel, support Donald Trump, support all this, you know, typical neocon stuff. I say the N-word, which most of them probably do in private, but I'm the one who's recorded myself saying it. So now I've been boosted into this far-right movement, and I think I can go in and just act like, you know, I am a normal person. I'm not actually that much into politics. I'm not into this like far right stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, far right, that you're allergic to women and you're all little prayer boys who've never been into a fight, right? It's not gonna go well for you in any sense of the word, because like the grifting won't work now. Your grifting career is dead because you've already boxed yourself in with a racial slur, and now you're saying this about like most of the people who would be your fans, to be honest. And like, what? You do like some Gavin McInnes shows or something like that. So if she does have some sort of media career, it will literally be because like one person at like the Blaze or whatever this is takes a liking to her. But I honestly don't think she's long for a career in conservative media. And she just thought they would tolerate her, and she thinks they're going to tolerate this as well. Like, she thinks they're going to tolerate her. You know, she says she doesn't care. I'm speaking my mind. Blah blah blah. She thinks people are going to respect that. And I know conservatives pretend they love free speech. They won't do this because even Ben Shapiro doesn't criticize America First that much. And even Ben Shapiro, after actually being harassed by Nick Fuentes, has defended Nick Fuentes. Because these people know, as people who primarily only care about money, they know you can't just start just saying loads of shit about other conservatives. So yeah, that is the tragedy of the racist TikTok tradwife. This will probably be the last time I cover this person, unless they do something like, I mean, like, what else could they do to make a video on? They've already covered all the bases. So the next video will be about the milk thing instead. And then I'm going to gear up for UK election coverage, make a couple videos on that. I know people have been asking about it. And that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Watch Fox News instead.
I mean, I didn't plan on any of this, but it kind of happened. So I was like, all right, this is what's happening. So how do we make the best of it? You know, it's an opportunity. So I'm definitely going to take the best of it. I don't really like the 9-to-5 jobs anyway. So if I could get into, you know, some sort of conservative media, that would be the plan, obviously. I mean, I'm not kissing your ass. Like, I'm just going to give an honest opinion of what I thought. And my opinion on the whole America First thing is obviously that's the direction we need to go. My critique is it's so fringe, it's so cliquey, it's so niche that you're excluding a lot of normal people. Anyone's club. I'm just saying exactly how I feel about
Famed British person I'm Alex, and also commentary YouTuber, has fallen into one of the classic blunders of a YouTuber. A drama channel forced into drama. Ironic or whatever, I don't know. You guys know who I'm Alex is. He's been on the scene for quite a while.
I'm Alex and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a really sick channel called the Liberty Hangout. Wait until you hear what these University of Kentucky students have to say.
My channel was really small and terrible and shitty and horrible.
I have the smell of that stuff ingrained in my mind for some reason. And all I had was a beta named Bob for like 6 months, and he fucking poor guy.
And I would watch all the British guys like Meaningless and Willany and I'm Alex, and I'd be like, I wish I was them.
Wow. That's really ungrateful. You know, I've only ever received one award in my life, and I hold it very dear to my heart.
Now I'm glad of who I am. Not, you know, to talk shit about Willany or Meaningless. I don't know anything about them, but Alex was in that group. What the? And in spite of my jovial persona, this story is not something that's just fun little drama, fun little games, drama. Some guy slips up, says something really bad. No. This is way worse. The whole situation is very serious and disturbing.
I'm gonna bash your head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up.
It's incredibly disturbing and bizarre and unexpected, in all honesty. Very unexpected, for me at least. Not a huge consumer of British people content out there.
Through goes Hamilton! Unbelievable stuff!
Now, upon digging for this video, we found that Alex has had some controversies in the past, but none have been anywhere centered around him or really anywhere nearly as bad. He's always been an outlier, kind of like a celestial body, just kind of there, you know? It seems as though people now, after all this stuff has come out, have viewed him as someone who doesn't really add anything to the situation or just makes the situation worse. But this time, however, Alex is in the spotlight, guys. He's finally the man, the big man, and it's not good. And it seems his ex-girlfriend has exposed him for who he really is. A clip of him in a Discord call went viral, and it's violent, and it's disturbing, and his verbiage is weird, and I don't know what is wrong with this guy, why you would turn your 4K streaming setup on to yell at your girlfriend and threaten her and stuff and harass her and like be really absurdly mean. But like, that's a bizarre move, TBH. Now, there are plenty of people online now, especially, that don't like Alex. Myself included, I'm part of that camp, I'm proud to say. All right, guys? It seems now that that's sort of the collective. There's no one really siding for him. All of his friends have distanced themselves from him. There's been so many British people messages that I've been seeing on Twitter and Instagram, and it's like, oh, well, that's good. I'm glad no one's defending him, because it's like, there's video of it.
Is it generally because you're just brain dead?
Yeah, I'm very brain dead, yeah.
Is that why you decided to go on the fucking offensive instead of the maybe?
You know, normally it's just like a text or something that you could fake, but no, he turned his 4K streaming setup on to cancel himself. It seems like he was intentional, but I don't think it was. He's got a bizarre case of hubris here. So who the is I'm Alex, and what the exactly did he do? Because when this type of thing happens, it's important to understand all the context. If you guys want to not hear me yap for a while, then go watch another channel. Okay? But if you want to hear me yap, then strap in, motherfucker. Because I'm about to get started, and we're about to enact 1776 again.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken.
Just kidding. It's my own little personal world I'm living in. So who's this guy and what exactly did he do? Alex Elmsley, aka Alex, is a British YouTuber and online personality known for his drama commentary and YouTube commentary stuff. He currently sits at 2 million subscribers on his main YouTube channel, and I'm Alex has been posting commentary videos since way back in 2016, and the height of his success was in 2019 and 2020 when I was at the very bottom. 2019 at least.
Hey, I just shed for the season and wanted to know if you wanted this before I ate it for nutrients. Mine, wrong number. Oh my God, that would make my entire life if someone sent me that on text.
I was like, oh my God, I wish I was that guy. I really wish, not him specifically, but like, I used to just wish I was other people all the time. Is that bad? Feel like it's bad. Now I don't do that. I don't do that. And it's not because I'm like massively rich or anything. It's just because I think I'm just older and I'm just like I've gotten smarter, I think. And it's, you know, stuff like this keeps happening and I'm like, oh, seems like it ain't all that in a bag of chips. I'd rather just be happy within my own world. This guy's got a lot of popular videos though. Super popular dude. Look at this. I mean, there's a lot of popular videos. Look at all this shit. Look at them. I'm Alex. Hello everybody, I'm Alex. His most popular videos include watching some TLC shows.
90 Day Fiancé. Now you may be looking at that title and be thinking, oh, that's a bit illegal. That's a bit rapey. And yes, there is a lack of consent being shown there. And that's why it drew me in.
Some reaction stuff.
Don't know who Emma Chamberlain is. She's a YouTuber who is absolutely blown up onto the scene recently. She has been absolutely destroying all records, even going on to collect rewards for it.
I just want to say thank you guys for being so welcoming.
And his reactions with another YouTuber, another British YouTuber, James Marriott.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm joined by the wonderful...
Me.
Is that your name?
I'm Alex.
What's your username then?
I'm Alex. I see what you did there.
It's funny.
Who also sits at 2 million subs and does similar content to Alex. I don't know if they're still friends. I didn't see James' response to this leading up to this video. I know he's been doing like music stuff for a while now. It's like, that's chill. Pretty chill with it. If you haven't gathered by now, James and Alex's show kind of is like the British version of Cody Ko and Noel Miller's That's Cringe.
The things we buy and put in our households are fundamentally political acts. Okay. Right?
And is she bringing out beef? And she just literally, while she was trying to explain a point, she's brought out a steak.
They brought out a steak. And she's talking about toxic masculinity. I don't think there's anything more toxic you could do when talking to a vegan than bringing out a steak.
It really raises the stakes.
But they were just never as popular in British as well, so it's like double whammy of L's.
So every morning I'll have my daily dose of vitamins and I'll make a couple of these health drinks.
Oh, dude, you're drinking cum powder? Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
The style of content hasn't really changed over his career, and today most of his recent videos are still reacting to TV shows.
Hello everyone, today we're going to be watching Ghost Adventures. I am here with Isaac and Cam. We missed Halloween by day, so when this comes out it'll be like 5
Alex has still got his mask on.
Is Bonfire? Oh, hang on, I know what you said.
Crazy online personalities and the like.
Okay, I saw this TikTok the other day of a sun bear at a Chinese zoo.
Side note, this is actually really creepy, this TikTok.
Yeah, that's
Have you seen this one?
Guy in a bear
It's a bear. Like, it's an actual bear.
He's
Oh,
just
that's
so
weird.
funny. Pretty sus if you ask me.
I hate this. I hate this content so much. I'm really struggling.
Sus.
Bear is so sus.
TikToks as well.
No, I cannot control my anger. So don't tell me to try and control my anger.
You got work tomorrow.
Oh shit, away from me. I'm not fucking doing it.
800,000 likes, by the way.
800,000 likes.
800,000 likes on, mainly for this bit here. You ready?
You get a second channel where every single thumbnail, it's one of those channels where every single thumbnail is the same reaction face. It's kind of funny. I love it when people do that. It's hilarious. Sometimes I do that on my second channel. Sometimes. I don't know if we do it anymore. I'm Alex has also done some music on the side as a meme. He has a rap name called Lil Revenue, and some of his most popular songs include 10 Minutes, a song about his videos not being monetized because they're not 10 minutes long. Hit it, the threshold for earning revenue, long form revenue, yeah.
All of the videos in my subbox were 10 minutes long.
Pretty great stuff. I like it. Wish I would have wrote that. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm glad I don't do that. Also, yes, that song is 10 minutes long. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm Alex, despite his relatively low profile, has been a bit of a controversial for quite some time online. Now, in 2017, I'm Alex was involved in a different dramatic situation. Back in 2017, the British teamed up with the Americans to accuse a Canadian commentary YouTuber known as Zaptai of being a pedo and a sociopath based on his behavior, which is classic YouTuber behavior. In February of 2017, I'm Alex and the others talked about how Zaptai cheated on his wife by having S-word with his fans, and that he had manipulated the three of them for views.
Ed, over the last few months, has been going through, well, really for the last year, a lot of shit. A lot of issues, and you know, I was there for him. It's one of the reasons why I became best friends, because I knew about stuff that was going on in his life when he didn't know that I knew, and I hinted at it, and that's how we became good friends. I wanted to help him, and it's kind of sad, but I feel like this is one of the best ways to help him in a really weird way, because this is awful to do.
Alex then made the claim that Zaptai was a diagnosed sociopath, and his evidence for the claim was Alex said he was Zaptai's best friend, which is pretty cool.
Ed told me about 4 or 5 days ago now that he was a diagnosed sociopath. That's what Ed told me.
2 days later on Twitter, a person by the name of Sefer released a tweet longer saying that Zaptai was having sexual conversations with her when she was 16 and he was 20 years old. Zaptai would apologize, and people seemed to accept his apology at the time. However, he deleted his channel shortly after that. So, you know, probably that's not good. At the time, I'm Alex would come out and fully support Sefer's, though, but it would all backfire for him because it turns out that Alex had twisted Zaptai's words to say that he was a sociopath when he made a joke to him about having antisocial personality disorder, which is like not the same thing. So kind of a start to shit going wrong for Alex. Furthermore, it seemed like Alex's claims of being used for views were just bogus, because when asked, he could never really tell like a specific instance in which he was being used for views by Zaptai. So, you know, one of those things, man. Seems like most people at the time were starting to catch on to the potential fact that Alex was making false claims and just blowing the situation out of proportion. Turkey Tom made a video about this situation and even called out the discrepancies in the pedophilia allegations. But that's a heavy allegation to throw at somebody. That is, like, you gotta be really sure about that one.
Not to mention, the age of consent in the state where Heather resided, being Washington, is 16 years old. So it would have been completely legal for them to meet up and have sex. The general rule of thumb in these situations should be that if you can't get the guy arrested for it, then don't try to destroy his life over it. Now, is that age gap acceptable? That's up to you to decide. I personally would say that it is not okay, and parents should probably have been involved there to stop this girl from flaunting herself online to men who are a little too old for her. I also think that he probably deserves to be criticized for speaking to this girl whilst knowing that she was 16 years of age. But is it irredeemable? I would say no.
Seemed like this whole situation way back in 2017 would damage Alex's reputation online a little bit, and he would be labeled sort of as a snake online. This was the beginning of him being labeled as a snake in the commentary community. And he really, you know, fought that point home repeatedly after this point. It's just the beginning. To be clear, I've seen him before. I've never met this man. I've spoken to him one time in DMs. He told me that he liked my videos that I was making, and I said I appreciate it greatly. That's the extent of all the conversations I've ever had with Alex. Maybe he tweeted at me once or twice. I really don't remember. But yeah, so like truly, this is me trying to be as unbiased as possible. I was not a part of that commentary community at that time. Once again, though, wouldn't be long for Alex to get into more controversy in the commentary community specifically. In June of 2019, a YouTuber by the name of Slazo was canceled for many reasons. There was a large controversy surrounding the man's channel when at one point his ex-girlfriend came out with a twit longer saying that Slazo was sexually and emotionally abusive. Alex, if you hadn't guessed by now, would come out in support of Che, the person who was alleging that Slazo was a POS. However, Slazo came out with evidence that supposedly showed Che as lying.
Che says that I got touchy-feely in a park and I was making unwanted advances while she was crying and asking me to stop. This makes me sound like a monster, and if it did happen, I would be a monster. But this isn't how it happened. What did happen was this was a very awkward but mutual situation, where she describes I moved her hands to me. She did that of her own volition, and she even mentions this in Discord messages from after we met up in person, so...
Alex staunchly defended the Che position on Twitter, but his tweets are no longer available online. So it was he deleted it. He deleted it. Slazo's response to it, I'm not really sure. I don't know the context of the whole situation. I haven't really dug deeply into the whole Slazo thing, but I don't really, just seeing this, like, I'm not really sure what exactly happened, but Alex deleted his tweets regardless, staunchly defending Che in the aftermath of all this. And a bunch of people made videos in the situation, in regard to the situation, and just shit on Alex for staunchly defending what he believed was someone who was assaulted or abused, basically.
You helped and entertained and pushed the narrative that your friend was a which got proven to be false.
And then a lot of other people in the commentary community were like, yo, it's bullshit. He exonerated himself. So I'm not really sure. What I am sure of is that Alex received so much backlash that he eventually made a public apology on Twitter, which is awesome. He eventually rescinded his support for Che and admitted that he made a mistake. However, in his apology, he never actually says the words, I'm sorry. And this made a lot of people upset. Seems like he just hates Slazo. Weak apology overall, though. Not a great apology. Very bad apology. See, the thing about apologizing is you have to mean it. You gotta actually mean it. You can't just say things diplomatically. You have to get to mean it for people to want to accept it as actual truth. Ultimately, the entire fiasco would do far more damage than good to his reputation online, and I still know people who hate him because of all of this, in spite of me not really understanding the situation at the time. I was like, who? Who did what now? What are you talking about right now? But he was ostracized a bit from the commentary community at the time. Makes sense, right? And to be honest, in a lot of people's minds, he was cemented as a snake at this time and a generally awful person online. Generally, not genuine. But he is an awful person now. I'll explain that here in a bit. Like, we have proof of it now, like genuine proof. So a lot of this is sort of making more sense. Look, my foot. It's very sweaty right now. I can't explain why. With the future context we now have, seems like Alex is a very egotistical person who likes to put himself at the forefront of controversies, likes to insert himself in the situation in a very biased way. It's like one thing to do so in trying to present facts as accurately as possible and trying to be rational in a situation, but he likes to just go dick first, straight in, just He didn't really seem to garner too much respect from the people around him and even his supposed close friends as time goes on. It seems like his disposition has only got worse with all of them. They all kind of don't like each other, especially now, though. So his actions up until this point have allowed you to kind of paint a bit of a picture as to what's to come. How about his merch? Check this out. He's got internet sensation merch, which is awesome. Awesome. I thought that was really ironic and funny at the time. I was like, oh, that's not bad merch. I like that. I like that merch. But now it's like, oh, it's different now. I don't like it as much. This guy's crazy. He jacks off in the mirror of him to looking at himself. Like, he loves himself a lot. He's a non-ironic internet sensation. So history doesn't always repeat itself by a jot. It sure does rhyme some damn times. All right. And Alex has once again found himself balls deep tip first in the middle of a terrible, terrible situation. It appears to be what some call the final nail in the coffin. All right, some would call that. I think that is accurate. This is. I don't think there's any coming back from what we're about to watch in regard to Alex. I think it's over for him. I think it's over for him online. I really do. I do think so.
You guys know the meme that goes, when the random E-celeb you dislike for just being dumb and annoying and unfunny finally is outed for a legitimate reason to dislike them. Well, this situation right here with Alex is a definition of this meme.
Unless he's just like a martyr of some kind, or like, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's over for him. On June 15th, a user on Twitter by the name of Alice has made a tweet talking about something she's been scared to share up until this point. Quickly learned that she's talking about I'm Alex. Upon opening the drive link that was shared by this person, there is a decent amount of material and a Google Doc that is attached, which we will get into in a little bit. The most shocking clip is obviously one that you guys maybe have heard, seen around. It's Alex arguing with this person online and losing his mind, eventually telling her that he's going to bash her with a brick.
I'm gonna bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you this royally.
Which is not something you would ever tell anyone. All right, this isn't 2000 BC. What are you doing? Are you a murderer? Because that's not something you tell people. I'm gonna bash your head in with a brick. With a chimney sweep. This clip by itself is up. No context is even needed really to see that it's an absolute disgusting thing. The rage that this guy has in his heart for his girlfriend, shaking like a animal, telling her that he's angry and that he's going to bash her head. That's crazy. Why would you? I just don't get that. I just don't understand that. It's like, don't do that, all right? It's easy. You don't need to be taught to not do that. That's crazy. That's wild. As you can probably guess, the internet didn't like that very much. Not that many people on Alex's side right about now, I'd say, to be safe. I would be safe if you're a betting man. If you're into betting, man, you want to put down a wager. First off, don't. Secondly, definitely don't do it on Alex. You will lose all your money, unfortunately for you. Oh, you already bet on him? Well, you're stupid. This is obviously a person with very violent thoughts. A very angry person with violent thoughts, just saying those things to a person who you really wouldn't. You think they'd be the last person you would be angry and violent towards. And it's just one clip. There is a lot more that we can go over in the drive. There's a lot more you can look at yourself. There's a lot to this. Now, there are also audio recordings without video that really give the words that he's screeching a bit more power. For example, in this clip, he's telling his girlfriend that he's a famous celebrity on the internet and that she might not have anything to lose, but he does.
And you think you can just ignore them? Just like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know. If your boyfriend's a famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because he has to keep his circle small, because you might not have anything to lose, because your life might go down the drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to give. You're making it incredibly hard for me. Just like Lewis did. I hate all of you. You guys are like I can't make him videos for free.
Because she's a worthless peon, alright? He's got more to lose. She, worthless piece of shit peon. He, Messiah, the second coming. This is just proof of him having a massive ego. The fact that he can just say that with a straight face in a moment to prove a point. I'm a famous internet celebrity, oh Alex. Bragging about that. What the? That's a mark of shame. Never meet your heroes, guys. Hopefully none of you are idolizing I'm Alex, though. Let's be real. That's not exactly the pinnacle of masculinity or femininity or really anything that you should shoot for. Don't pretend anybody on the line is your friend or develop any more of a parasocial relationship than you really need to. It's cool and all. Sometimes like a little sort of, some of the people are good. I've met some of them. I can promise you some of them are good. But man, in this community, wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it. But what do I know? I hate YouTubers. They're like, I really do. Luckily, a lot of them have already been just removed at this point. But like the ego that one can get from doing this is just remarkable. It is remarkable. In another clip, he is yet again bragging, calling himself a professional, which he's not a professional.
What judgmental is. I think I may have said like 100 times to the point where it's actually really hard to follow what I'm saying because it's so flexible. I've gone, you could do this, but you might be able to do that, but you might be able to do that, and you might be able to do this, and this might work, but you might be able to do that. And it sounds mental. I don't even understand how you can possibly actually follow along. Like most of my friends struggle to actually understand what I'm saying. But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not.
Yeah, most of my friends struggle to understand what I'm saying, but that's why I'm the professional and you're not. Loser! Take me out, loser!
Oh, bozo.
I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is real. I mean, like all the horrible shit, that's one thing. That's non-ironic. We should have canceled this guy long ago. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. So to ignore the insane level of confidence for a little while, we have some personal exchanges between Alex and Alice. One where she's packing her things, apparently after she was kicked by Alex. He's just going on about how things seem so insignificant, saying he feels ill to even see her face.
Over what? I don't understand. It's not really got anything to be stuck up over. But for some reason, something isn't good enough for you. You get to do whatever you fucking want all day. It's like, and then you look like a miserable little all the time. Like, your face is annoying to look at, like when I come downstairs.
What does that even mean, bro? What a weird. He then goes on to say that he sleeps downstairs and it's because she whines about stealing all the blankets while he's asleep, which is what? That's part of it, bud. That's part of it.
Like, I'm actually fed up of looking at you, which is why I sleep downstairs. So I don't want to have to come upstairs and, oh, you're taking all the covers. It's like a woman just like asked me to buy another one, or it's fucking complaining. Like, nothing. The thing is, it annoys me. Nothing needs to be an argument because everything is fixable. Buy a new duvet. I sleep downstairs. But no, you've always got to act like none of this stuff because you don't actually try and fix any of your problems. Like, it's infuriating at this point.
Now this sets him into a rage, continually building up his incredibly emotional emotions and ranting. And then about a minute in, he says the N-word, soft A, but it is the word nonetheless, which is crazy, man. Like, what is going on? The context of this is so confusing.
You actually like, you know, enough of yourself. Neither do you. So, what do you think? It's fine. Don't worry about it.
There's a bunch of noise in this video, and we can tell the reason why. It's because Alice is trying to pack her things because she's being kicked out by him, and it's just, she named the video that's weird. He's just genuinely talking to himself in the background in a rage, chasing her down to continually just argue with her, even though she's not even talking back at all. Imagine small talk with this guy, the tiny little arguments that led off that. When he's off camera, this is just one moment that's recorded, one small moment in time. This guy has to be a lunatic. During this whole dispute, turns out Alex knew he was wrong, and he spam texted her apologizing for his actions, which I have a very strong feeling that it wasn't because he wanted to get back with her, but it was because he wanted to protect himself, and he was worried that she might try to cancel him because he's crazy. Lo and behold, she did it. He's crazy. He was right. He should have apologized harder and spammed more. And if that's not pathetic enough, someone took the voice recording that she made and gave it some subtitles and captions so it's easier to follow along and hear exactly what he's saying because it needs to be translated because he's British. There's 24 minutes of footage here, by the way, so we'll mention some highlights. It's all horrible. Some of the parts that we feel are most important, I suppose. Here, he states that it wasn't her fault any of this happened and he only thought about himself and not her.
The only thing that's important is that I didn't listen to you. You were right. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I was impossible to work with. I didn't make it easy.
Nice. Pretty cool. Here he blows hot and he blows cold. Apologizing 1 minute and angry the next. Seems like this guy has got some serious mental problems.
I blow hot and cold. You've seen me. I'm apologizing 1 minute, shouting the next. Angry 1 minute, please come here and hold me. You know. It's like, I just feel like I've been really battling through this very weird thing.
My guess is that if he tries to defend any of this, he's just going to pull the mental health card and say he's got bipolar or something along those lines. But he's clearly cognizant and he's clearly making these decisions to act in this way. He's been a successful guy online for a long enough time. There's no excuse for this, is what I'm getting at. He's of sound mind. He's just a bad person. And very few people who I've met who have bipolar diagnosed are anything like this guy. So, but getting ahead of myself though. All right. At 8 minutes, he explains that it was him and reading through all their arguments. It was all his fault and he caused it.
It's like it was me. And anything that I said before in any arguments, I have looked back at all of them. I went back and read them. I read all the messages from us. from the beginning of the last year, I could see how I caused everything. Jealous about you playing games with your friends. You don't want you to dedicate your life to me.
Poor guy. He's starting to feel bad now. At 11:43, he continues to lash out viciously. He's angry. Pretty much just says that he's, in his own words, blackmailing her.
I was still being vicious and lashing out and being angry. But I was like using it as like an excuse to fucking do it. Being like, look, I might do it. Like it was like blackmail. Like I was like, you should call me. If you don't call me, you'll lose the apology. I'm gonna be all angry, and it's because I couldn't control my emotions at all.
He's trying to get her to do certain things, or he'd get angry because he couldn't control his emotions at all. At 15 minutes, 17 seconds, he again says it's not her fault and that she didn't do anything wrong, and that it's not because she's lesser or because she has issues. So, thankfully, we have that clarity there.
But it's not you. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, you're not responsible for this. You're not responsible for what happened. You tried your best. It's nothing to do with you. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you're lesser or because you have issues. It's not because of that. It's like, you were fine. It's not because you... It's not because of you. It's nothing to do with you.
At 17 minutes, 22 seconds, he says that he remembers moments of her and when he was at his happiest.
You know, I just remember moments where I was my happiest and, you know, sat in your bedroom, just me and you, just lying there together. And, you know, it should have been that all the time.
Tugging on the old heartstrings we are. Good man. At 18:43, he apologizes for getting emotional and says that he's angry at himself, of course. Then he quickly says, because you were the best to her, and this may or may not be correct, I have no idea. But by God, that sounds very manipulative. You can see it's like a full circle. He's an Ouroboros. He's that creature that eats its own tail.
I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm just really angry at myself. Because you were the best. And I was the fucking... Oh, God. But you were... You know...
At 1904, he talks about how she brought up that he might have bipolar disorder, so it's already, you know, it's out there, it's canon. The canonicity is accurate.
And even all the way back to when you said all the stuff about the bipolar disorder. And I was mean. I read that text the other day, and I'm so angry. Like, why was I like that to you?
In 1940, I think he just says because she mentioned that, the bipolar thing, that she was trying to say that it wasn't his fault and that he's doing his best.
And I did apologize back then. It didn't change any behavior. Like, I saw you say that, and I thought, oh, she's gonna, that's an excuse towards me. Hopefully that's an excuse towards me. Because I was down your throat. And in reality, you're just trying to say it's not my fault and I'm doing my best. But instead I thought you were using it because I'm so convinced myself that like, you were out of my league and that I didn't deserve you. And also that I was gonna f*** up.
And now this seems like a very bizarre, manipulative tactic, very narcissistic thing to do. Hey man, I'm walking back on myself, but it's all right though, because you said it's not my fault, so it's not my fault. I feel good about it. Let's rationalize this. Let's rationalize this irrational behavior. No thanks. At 20 minutes, 35 seconds, he says that he doesn't deserve to be forgiven and that he doesn't deserve anything. And he should be held accountable for his mistakes and get help and held accountable. Yes! That's what we're doing now, though.
I don't deserve to be forgiven. I don't deserve anything. I should be held accountable for my mistakes. To you. It was wrong. And I'm sorry, but it's taken you to do everything in your power to really make me understand it.
There's just so much of him reliving moments and things that he did and crying and more. But it's 25 minutes of it. It's so long. Just
insane behavior. If you guys want to listen to the full thing, be my guest. The tweet is still up and the Google Drive is still there. But holy shit, man, it is exhausting. He talked for 25 minutes about his own actions and was sobbing because of that.
Like, I knew how you felt about everything. We spoke about everything. We covered everything. We buried everything. We'd have conversations about everything.
Completely out of regret for his own actions, by the way. I've never felt this much regret about anything. I don't think I've ever been this much of an asshole. Towards the end of this, honestly, most people without knowing the context would probably feel sorry for the guy, but there's still one more other thing from the Google Drive that we can go on, and that is the Google Doc. Not to mention the bash your head in with a brick thing. That's like pretty much as big of an L as you possibly could ever deliver. There's no coming back from that.
I'm gonna bash your head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the up.
Alice's Google Doc, 80 pages. There's lots to share. It is a lot. There's a lot. It's a tome. It's a tome. There's everything in there. Messages, texts, a lot of context giving. And a lot of these texts, by the way, seem genuinely insane and are clearly sent from someone who is mentally unwell. A bad person. And what I mean by that is that this person should be helped and given lots of therapies and medication probably to help with this issue, and not power and influence on the internet. That seems like a bad idea to give this person that. But I'm no expert. There's so much here to unpack. I'm gonna try to do my absolute best. All right. First off, it's important to note that the behaviors that are exhibited by this person and the language used by the individual who's supposed to be Alex in this text exchange, it's incredibly manipulative, okay? It's up. It's weird. It's constantly gaslighting. It's abusive. I mean, this is just bad. This is bad. You can clearly see that. There's no way to argue against this. He is making her feel bad and feel like she is in the wrong for his despicable me-ass attitude. He doesn't treat her like a partner. He treats his relationship like chess, like he's some kind of alpha trying to break out of the matrix, and she's George Soros. And this adversarial treatment is highlighted in the top of the Google Doc in a statement, where she shares that she's allegedly been threatened by Alex to stay silent, which makes sense. Honestly, I buy that. I believe it. Otherwise, he will contradict her story and discredit her and you know, fight back using psychological warfare. I think it's too late, though. I think it's too late. I'm not sure there's much that could be really done to defend the actions of the video, bro. It's like video evidence is really bad. And now that information of it allegedly being his goal to turn this, if it does come out, into a he said, she said, then all of the texts provided as evidence for the way that he treated her in the videos that kind of prove the texts are true. Assuming everything is 100% true, it all makes sense, and it's just really bad. We have a very clear picture painted of how terrible of a person and just partner Alex is. There's no contradicting story. There's no discrediting that can repair this image. It's very bad. So now, on to the texts. First one that Alice shares is Alex trying to gaslight Alice into feeling bad for not immediately leaving a call with all of her friends to join him the very second he wants her to. He's like, he's like, you know, wants to control her. He even just spammed her to just apply pressure. It's like a child. It's like talking to an actual child. It's weird. Mommy. That's how I talk to bank tellers. I pull on their shirt. I go, hello. I need your assistance. Help. But I'm not like Alex, though. He's a weirdo. This guy sucks. This guy's a real jerk. This guy's a real jack-off expert. He constantly called her various names. As you can tell, he's an asshole. He would insult her. He called her a lot, stupid, and an idiot, which is just not very nice to call anyone, let alone your partner. This entire time, he's trying to get her to call him, even though he's talking to her like he doesn't like her in any capacity. He's like, come on, you stupid idiot. Let me talk. Let's talk. I love you, you idiot. Oh, come on, man. Let's not do that. He also contradicts himself, constantly giving Alice absolutely zero potential or way to have a good interaction with him, which is unfortunate. For example, in one instance, he tells her to ask him if she can come over in the future. Following this, she does ask him if she can come over, and he blows up at her for making it his decision, which is genius. This guy's like the Napoleon Bonaparte of YouTuber relationship experts. Get it? I have no idea why the Alex would want to be with Alice if he's just going to get mad at her for literally just communicating and doing things. Everything she does is just not good enough. And it can't be anything she wants. She doesn't have the power. He's got the power. He's the one to worship. Also, he just tells her in text that he genuinely hates her, which is not very nice. How many girlfriends does this
idiot had, bro. I'm assuming there's gonna be more people that are gonna come out. That would kind of make sense. This is definitely not like low moment behavior. This is like pathological. This is bad. This is a demon inside of this man. Alex addresses the point that some people would make, and that is, why would she stay? And with hindsight being 2020, she wouldn't have stayed if she would be forced to go back, obviously, because she knows now. But she says that she believed his fake apologies and thought he eventually might listen to her. This is something you hear about all the time. I mean, there's a cycle of abuse that's very difficult to escape out of. A lot of things are cyclical. It's, there's no one that should falter for that thought. That's very rational and common, and it happens, and it's unfortunate. She also says that she was dealing with depression at the time, which he obviously made much worse. One of the ways that Alex would gaslight her even further is to just make her console him when she's the one who is depressed, and also tell her that he doesn't love her anymore, and calling her too much work. What? Man, come on. These are infuriating to read. Even the non-insane parts of what we see here, pretty much all of it is absolutely insane. But even the more sort of small scale parts are still just clearly two people who aren't good for each other in any capacity. Like this is, and it's exacerbated massively by the insanity that is on Alex. They continuously engage and make each other upset time and time and time and time and time again. Alex is abusive and clearly manipulative with her. Like, it's not even up in the air. It's just absolutely 100% manipulation. She's trying to always walk on eggshells and explain why she's upset by him when she should have just stopped talking to him entirely, which she definitely knows now. She says that. At one point, Alex told Alice to herself right after questioning why people think that he's rude. It's pretty obvious. 2020 hindsight, once again, why people think that Alex is rude now, and his ego is so massively inflated due to a modicum of attention online that he got on the internet. It's just insane. And he finalizes this thought by telling Alice that without him, she would have no value, which is just a gross misunderstanding of what it is to be a human being, I think, thinking that way. This guy definitely, I said it already, strokes it in the mirror. For sure. If he had a clone, he'd it, all right? To be fair, if I had a clone, no, I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. So yeah, at this point, it's bad, right? It's really bad. Should have broken up as soon as possible, but I've never been in an abusive relationship. It's clearly a thing that happens on a consistent basis. I mentioned that as well already. It's hard. It's got to be tough. You got Stockholm Syndrome. It's tough to see a way out, life. Consistency is almost better than actual freedom, and it's a huge anxiety, just gripping thing to think about breaking up with someone when you have trouble imagining your life without them, even if it's a terrible environment. But yeah, this environment though, really bad. Alex is a massive piece of shit. It's crazy. Now, if after all this you think he couldn't get any worse, well, she details a time that he became physically abusive to her. They were getting the house ready for his parents to come over for dinner, and by they getting the house ready, I mean she getting the house ready. And while she was cleaning, he started pestering her, asking what's wrong, and not believing her when she says that she's fine and nothing is wrong. Then he supposedly shouted at her and then asked for things he could do to help. And when she gives him more than one thing that he can do to help, like cleaning, he begins screaming again. So she walked away, and at that point, he kicked her in the back. She also provides images of her belongings that are completely destroyed, her computer setup annihilated. But at this point, luckily, Alice leaves and stops responding to him, so he gets very desperate to try to get her back. And this is when the worms really come out of the brain. He said sweet things like, I miss you, for what feels like maybe the first time in their entire relationship. So at this point, we're on page 51 of 82, and a lot has been paraphrased, obviously, or skipped to get to just the most insane, pertinent bits of the story. The man becomes seemingly obsessed with messaging her, even when she's not even responding, like Too Mad style. Pretty wild behavior. He sends her videos, voice memos, and a lot of texts. He's clearly shitting himself and very desperate here. I'd also like to say at this point, a lot of these texts or various apologies, whatever the f they are, fake or real, I don't think it matters at this point. He's shown his true nature. We have that on video. It doesn't really matter. Dude is an absolute piece of shit. This is a bad relationship. This is not good behavior for anyone to act upon. To anyone. It's all bad. It's all bad. Maybe he is genuinely apologetic. Maybe he just truly has some kind of untreated mental illness. I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll eventually respond. Or maybe he's just a actual evil person. I have no idea. He's trying to get her to respond, though, desperately, despite all of the things that he has put her through objectively. And this is instead of just acknowledging the damage that he's done and trying to be someone who, you know, loves and nurtures and looks after someone. It's clear that he's doing this for him and his own thing. He's worried. He's full of anxiety for his decisions, not care or concern for another human being. It's for him. His motives are for him. They're completely selfish. In my opinion, he's just hoping that she can forgive him so he can have her back, so he can break things off in a less insane way, maybe, or keep her around for long enough to where he's fully milked all of his stupid peon viewers for every cent that they possibly have so he can just escape into the sunset without getting canceled, obviously, because he's a piece of shit. That's not the end of their interactions, by the way, if the Google Doc is in chronological order, but I think that's just about where my mental bandwidth dies for reading exchanges between these two people. I've reached my limit. So as of now, Alex still hasn't responded to any of the controversy, and nobody knows what he's been up to. He hasn't tweeted in a long time. He hasn't confirmed or denied anything. He's probably just shitting himself, to be honest, and just hopefully he's seeking therapy and getting some help, and hopefully Alice is, you know, feeling better about all this, to feel exonerated, to feel free, to feel validated by so many people. It's got to be massive. I'm fortunate enough to never have been in a situation like this, and I'm very grateful for that. And whenever I see a positive outcome where it seems like, you know, this is cut and dry, this is good that this is out, this is going to have good results for everyone who deserves good results. I like seeing that. I wish the best for Alice, and I'm Alex.
Maybe that's what blinded us to how ugly the people were getting.
She is a leader of an organization called Love Has Won.
You don't understand. No one took these groups seriously.
They were different. Religious. Militant. It was a goddamn cult.
If that was God, God would not make us leave our children.
Not long after that, they even had the fucking cops.
Their own sovereign religious state. Built right here. Under our noses.
Ain't no one coming to help us. The government can't do shit. We're on our own.
People don't want to believe groups like this exist.
People are scared, man.
I've taken Mother's joy by making her the worst quesadilla in all creation.
Just sometimes it's best to leave well enough alone. And sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away.
I was blind, but now I see.
We're wandering into some untread ground here on the Saturated Content channel. We are evaluating somebody and a group of people that have mainstream attention. The Love Has Won cult has been featured on Vice, on HBO, and on Dr. Phil. So I'm a little bit late to the game, I guess you could say. But most of these are just quick synopses of what they're up to, what's going down. And I thought maybe I should throw my hat into the ring. Now, a really quick explanation as to what this cult is. It's run by a woman named Amy Carlson.
You know, I'm like 8 billion egos. Yeah, I got this big. I got him, Robin. Woo! Universal law. No matter what's happened to me, I will still stand for love.
Basically, she believes she is Mother God. She is a reincarnation of God himself. She's been reincarnated over 500 times. She's like a fucking wizard and warlock or whatever that can cast spells to heal people, yada yada. They are located in rural Colorado, temporarily in Hawaii, and they have a group of 12 to 24 people that are there permanently and interact. So throughout this video, I'll get into explaining exactly what all their creed, what all their explanations for things are, why they worship her, why she's so important. But the important aspect is that Amy is the central figure and everybody worships her as the deity.
You're gone. Thank you, God. Because I am God.
She believes that we live in a 3D universe and she can morph herself into a 5D universe. It's all kind of convoluted, as you would expect from a bunch of hippie dumbasses that live in rural Colorado worshiping some lady who deserted her family to create this religion or whatever experience, whatever you really want to call it. Since the cult is called Love Has Won, it becomes kind of ironic that there are so many clips of Amy acting like an absolutely deranged psychopath.
You are in fucking treason on this planet. This is my planet. My own light workers battled me! Serving love and bringing a new paradigm, you fucking dick whores. You're about to get it. And every one of you that went against me, you're going to get it.
She goes on these absurd, nonsensical rants about being the light, being the chosen one, and how everybody is disrespecting her, that she is just not being fulfilled. You're not living up to your duty as a follower of Mother God. It all sort of started when Amy deserted her family. She had 3 children with 3 different men. I can't say if they were all husbands. She deserted them and started to, maybe not necessarily marry, but elope with a bunch of different father gods, which were just other weird, crunchy ass men that would become the father figure in this relationship, in this hierarchy. And to my knowledge, there were at least 6 different father gods. Nowadays, there might be more, but as we'll see a little bit later, there's been transitional periods during this cult's lifespan.
This is Mother and Father God and the Earth Allies. And we declare peace on Earth, equal heart.
Peace on Earth.
Greetings, love beings. This is Mother God.
And Father God, hello.
And the First Contact Ground Crew team at your service. There's Father God. He'll be dancing for you. Greetings, my children of true love and light. I love you with all my heart and everything.
I also find it funny, there are like clips of her doing like these initiation rituals, bringing people into the light, into the love, becoming one.
As the front runners of the new paradigm, do you choose to be love every moment? Do you choose to serve love every moment? Do you choose to be love in action every moment? Are you making the dedication and commitment to walk in and serve in whole truth and only with pure love?
But she still has to read off of a script. I find it odd. If I was sitting there and I'm like, all right, finally, I found something that is fulfilling to me. It's gonna change my life. Why is the god deity, why does she have to look down at her fucking clipboard a million times to recite the things she's telling me? Shouldn't she know it by heart? Shouldn't she should be like omnipotent, where the words don't even have to exist. They're already ingrained inside of her brain. She can just dialectically flow out and we would completely understand what she's trying to get at. But, you know, people that fall into these cults, there's a reason. There's a reason. There's mental illness, there's stupidity, there's a lot of things that go into how these people end up here, how this cult gets started. And it should be no surprise that all of these people are just getting blown out on drugs nonstop.
A group mushroom trip, I don't know who would have shared that because we didn't have anybody around doing that with us. So I don't know who... Like, we haven't done that with anybody, so I don't know who created the story because we don't know anybody who did that.
She ate an ounce of mushrooms. Last night we tried to get her to the starships. We picked out like a pile from Saint Germain, and then she was like, Saint Germain says all of them.
Yeah. And what's the other ones? What are the other tools?
We use
weed, cannabis,
mushrooms, cigarettes, alcohol.
Yes, I was crucified. I have the whole thing documented. I went back through the timeline. I experienced it all during a mushroom trip that Saint Germain took me on.
So basically, Amy has this philosophy that she can't be treated with typical medicine because it's not natural in some regard, which I don't know. There's like a convoluted mess I feel like you could go through because everything comes from somewhere. So I guess because it's touched by a pharmaceutical company, that's bad. No. Gotta stay far away from that. So she is either constantly high off of mushrooms, she's on a trip, she's doing weed, or she is drunk off her ass, which we'll get into a little bit later once we start talking about the followers and stuff. But basically, because she can't take medicine, she can't take like painkillers and other things like that, her only air quote natural remedy is to just get fucking obliterated. Her and Only Use Me Blade would be going fucking ham mode. Just imagine if she didn't fall into this fucking cult shit and just jumped into IP2. It would be the greatest combination of streamers of all time, because she is wasted probably 99% of these videos or clips that you're gonna watch, but she's still relatively composed, all right? She's holding it down.
Blame Mother Earth? For what? How fucking dare you? Mother Earth, that's the reason. Your host? Your mother? That's wrong. Fucking wrong.
And I think these drugs and these alcoholic binges that she goes on leads to her sort of having this like psychosis. She believes that she has all these weird ailments associated with her that lead her to not being able to eat. She was like clinically diagnosed as being anorexic. She claims that she's paralyzed and that she has all these bleeding issues all the time.
I'm fucking dying of cancer. I'm paralyzed and I'm still fighting.
It's been actually almost 3 days since Mom was really able to eat anything. This was a feeding tube. That this is where the cabal was stealing all the energy from. Every time Mother would get me to the point I'd embody, they'd fucking suck it out. And then she has been laying in a bed for over 2 years now, dropped 60 pounds, has had her legs taken away, paralyzed up to here.
I have blood pouring out of my ass.
And I think it all just stems from she probably has horrible kidneys from the abuse that she's doing to her body. She doesn't really eat right. She doesn't really drink right. She doesn't exercise. She doesn't really get out too much per se. And she is wholly reliant on other people watching after her, because everybody that claims that she is paralyzed will say that they need people to be around her to do her every whims and needs. And there was this infamous story where I guess they were on a mission trip and Father God went somewhere and left her alone, and she had to fucking hobble into the bathroom and just piss all over the floor because she's incapable of using her legs, allegedly.
And Mom was left alone for probably 2 hours, 3 hours. And, you know, Father and Mom were going back and forth. You'll see on the voice notes about the time. It doesn't really matter, 2 hours, 3 hours. Either way, it's unacceptable that Mom was left alone at all, where Mom's not going to pee on her bed. She's Mom, she's not going to do that. So she got down, and she can't walk, everybody, so she crawled her way somehow, some way. I don't know how the fuck this is going to look on the tapes. It's probably going to be absolutely horrifying to watch this. She managed to crawl herself to the bathroom, and if anyone has seen the photos, I didn't realize until yesterday when Father was taking these zoom out photos how big Mom's bedroom is. It's very spacious. So in terms of where the bathroom is in this house, in the room, I'm not really sure, but Mom managed to get there yet again. She got near the toilet. She couldn't get up again. She doesn't have the strength to do that. And she just was able to go to the bathroom on the floor.
Why am I fucking sitting here by myself without no one? Nobody fucking cares a shit about their fucking mother. Or I wouldn't be in this moment, in this space.
It's confusing. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe the malnourishment that she has caused her to be not as strong and can't really stand. Maybe. I don't know how she got paralyzed otherwise. Maybe the one true God, the 5D dimension God, summoned something that crippled her and left her paralyzed. But it is certainly up for contention as to how it happened, why it happened, and there's clips everywhere where it looks like she's moving her legs, and it makes me think that maybe she's just really malnourished, doesn't have the nutrients to support muscles in her legs, but she's not actually paralyzed. That would be my take. So all this sort of leads into her discussion of who she once was, who she connects with in the 5D dimension with other people. So basically, she claims to have been reincarnated as Jesus before. She claims she feels or felt getting crucified. She claimed to be Marilyn Monroe and Cleopatra, probably Hitler. Who knows? I mean, maybe she was going, maybe it wasn't all the good people. Maybe she came back as Pol Pot one time, you know, fuck, really messed that one up. That's a shame. But what really started to resonate with me is on her website, she has a long ass biography about a bunch of fucking junk. There's not a lot of intriguing information in there, but I do want to read an excerpt from it talking about who her master surgeon is. The one, the only, Robin Williams. My first galactic surgical team was Master Saint Germain and Cryon. This has now expanded. As this was going on for me, Robin Williams dies. The day he died, we did not have internet, and so we were searching for a Wi-Fi hotspot. 8 hours later, we got a signal. The computer takes us directly to see Robin had died, and then we lost the signal. 20 minutes later, Robin is standing in my bedroom. He was wearing a khaki shirt and khaki pants, with his hands in his pockets, rocking back and forth. He told me he had been murdered. We had a brief conversation about his movies. Probably talked, you know, a big chat about how great Flubber is, #1 movie Flubber. And then he asked me for the records for the mission. We have 10 years worth of documentation. I gave him full permission, and he came back to me 2 hours later saying he would like me to be part of the team. I said, that is awesome, Robin. But you just left your body. Aren't there things you need to be doing? He said, oh yes, right. He left and came back 3 days later and has been here ever since. Robin is the master surgeon from the other side. Now he has gathered an entire galactic A team to support us all. He is also a personal guide alongside Master Saint Germain. Of course, these are the thoughts of an enlightened person. If you thought this was just the thoughts of a deranged, crazy person, you're just not with the love. You're not with the light. And typically, a lot of these, you know, this isn't like Heaven's Gate cult. There's nothing too extreme necessarily going on here. Nobody's going to Jonestown, and, you know, there's no Kool-Aid being involved. But I think it opens up the opportunity for me to just sit here and laugh at these just deranged people who have never thought critically in their entire lives and so easily fell for the trap. All that being said, there are some shortcomings within Amy. I know, surprising. Who would have ever thought? Basically, there was this whole stream that they were doing, and I guess I should mention, the way that they make money and the way that they gain influence is by doing live streams on Facebook and YouTube, and then they will go into town with handcrafted goods and try and sell them to get some cashola to bring back home. That's basically the dynamic. And during one of these live streams, one of the other fucking cultists there had a child that was upset. You know, maybe she saw or he saw Robin Williams in the corner and said, I really love Flubber. I wish you could have made a Flubber too. That would have made me really happy. And then he disappeared and they got really upset. Basically, in order to discipline this crying child, they said, all right, you have to become one with yourself. We're just gonna fucking lock you in the closet. All right, we're just gonna take your ass, shove you in the closet. And it's surprise, surprise, the kid keeps crying. He's still upset.
Back up. not listening.
I've got something to say to that. Nobody listens. Nobody listens. What do people
They better fucking listen.
People need to be heard, and people need to be related to, and they need to feel like they're not alone. But people need people to listen. Yes. And nobody listens. They open their mouth wanting to retort, wanting to evaluate, wanting to weigh, measure out what somebody's hearing other, but nobody's listening to mine. What's tangible, right? What I can now. But I look in the mirror. That's ridiculous. I don't see me.
I knew it.
Not me, not her.
And then they take him out, and she just starts yelling at him. Now, mind you, this child is not Amy's child, right? But everybody refers to her as mother, and she demands that this child also views her as mother. So there's this whole back and forth with the child crying, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And unsurprisingly, if that's the way that she treats another human being, you best be sure that, like all other lolcows and horror cows that exist on this internet, there is some form of animal neglect or animal abuse that is also going to be incorporated.
So all animals respond to mom. All animals know. All animals know that she is God.
Brilliant girl. Hang on. Don't be a bitch now.
So when an animal is out of right action and is kind of resistant to mom.
When I'm talking to you, stupid. That's retard. Hey! Hey! Stop it!
She knows that it has picked up programming, and animals will reflect the programming that they are around in their environment.
Now, we got the Stooges showing up, basically defending her, saying, nah, you just don't understand. We were just disciplining the cat. That's all. We were just disciplining it. But it appears that she is grabbing it by the nape of the neck, but the cat is not relaxing and is clearly flipping shit, and she's yelling at it and she's spitting in its face. That's very cool. That's very love. Because at the end of the day, I kind of connect to people that are like, oh, animals are so much better than humans. It's because, you know, there's less development in the personality. They're less able to think for themselves. You view them as some sort of pitiful creation that we can take care of. We're the shepherds of these animals. Yet Amy says, fuck all that shit. Stupid dumbass cat. You should be listening to me. I'm the mother god. I created you in my 40th fucking reincarnation life, you dumb bitch. Stupid idiot. Whenever she gets into these weird tirades, these drunken rages, these fucking weird mushroom trips, her mask does slip, and she starts to reveal things like saying, oh, all of this is bullshit. Everything that's happening is not true. I'm not actually Mother God. I'm not a creation. I'm not a deity. I'm none of that.
I'm real. I'm not gonna ascend. I'm not gonna. This whole mission is fake. I'm not God. I'm crazy. I made everything up. This isn't real. You know, it's just all bullshit. And I was like, everything you say is real. Everything you're doing, I'm like, everybody's gonna know what you did, and Father is going to come back. And every day we just had to reassure her. I told her, like, Father will be back. Father will be here. And she's like, every day, you know, you gave me, you know, that strength to keep going every single day through it.
Yet the followers will sit there and say, she's just in so much pain from all the harm that we're doing and the world is doing that it's too difficult for her to figure out, and that's why she's in so much pain, and that's why she's saying these horrible things. It's like you're being dead ass. You're telling them straight up what's happening, and they just refuse to believe it. And that's going to lead into the naivete that exists within this following group.
Get down to that rally, man. Rally? Yeah.
Yes, the Freedom Rally, the one you organized.
Oh, shit, I'm not gonna go down there. It's gonna be a bunch of nuts with guns. Too dangerous.
What the hell? You're like the NRA.
Yeah, a little bit like the NRA. A little tiny bit. But I think of myself more like Al Gore. You know, he got everybody worked up over global warming. Then he made millions.
Huh?
Yeah, everybody does it. Liberals, conservatives, doesn't matter. This is America. You're either a duper or a dupee. I'm a duper. You guys are the dupees.
It should come off as no surprise that the followers of a crazy, narcissistic drunkard are also very broken, very low IQ individuals, I guess is how I want to describe it.
Every moment.
Serve love.
I serve love. I command my atoms into right action.
You are taking power over, you're not free.
I have disgraced God.
Now, this is not gonna turn into some like Reddit atheist fucking thing. Oh, I know so much better about the afterlife than you. But I think it's pretty obvious that if you're following someone like Amy, if that's the afterlife or that's the creation of the universe or the creator of the universe, then dear God, I don't want to live through that. That would be a sad reality. And they say some like really outlandish, really crazy things like, if you ever feel like you're having a heart attack or you have pain and you're feeling the numbness in your arms and the rest of your body, that's not your body saying you're having a heart attack. That's your heart growing.
Heart expanding. And how, when that takes place, sometimes it can feel like you're having a heart attack. Yeah. Don't freak out.
I'd be a little
Don't
concerned.
freak out. Just breathe through it and just allow that energy to go through. And it's knowing that your heart is expanding in these times. And that's what the dark side has fooled all of humanity into. You're having a heart attack. But when your heart is expanding, it kind of feels like that because you get pain in your chest sometimes, down your arms. Just breathe. You are growing in love.
This wave of energy that's coming in, and you know, it's best to be consistent in the heart and focused on love. For love is all there is.
Yeah, they literally stole it from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that his heart is gonna grow 3 times as it fucking pops and you're dead. That's cool. That seems very, very hinged. That seems normal. That's just, I go down to the grocery, these are the type of people I'm hanging out with every day. Now, I mentioned previously that there's a figure named Father God within this group. The most publicized Father God would probably be the 6th one, the most recent one. And he was a convicted felon, unsurprisingly. And he just, you know, he lets the M-word slip a little bit. He watched too much iDubbbz growing up. I get it. You know, he has to reform himself. He has to grow out his hair. You know, maybe turn Amy into an OnlyFans girl. Even, you know, we'll change him. We'll change him. Welcome into the new world, baby.
You know how they give the shit to the fucking. You hear that word? It's a cockroach. It's a fucking little spore that hates God. That's what a is. It's nothing to do with color.
You're not going to be stuck out there saying these crazy things. And speaking of crazy things, there are speculations as to what are they truly believing in? What things are they actually endorsing? Well, they've had people like a flat earther come onto their podcast before.
Right, but I don't say we're in a video game. That's not it at all. We're in a puzzle, if you will, and you know, we're trying to raise up. Most people believe that we are at the pinnacle of civilization. We are literally one step from becoming the movie Idiocracy. Okay?
100%.
To just say a bunch of wackadoodle stuff. It's cool. It's whatever. And basically, if you think of any prominent conspiracy that has existed, I don't know, since 1940s Europe, I'm not going to get into specifics, up until today, they probably think the alternative to what the mainstream take on those things are, which obviously very based. You're gonna let the CNN tell you what to believe? Come on, get out of here. That's just ridiculous. That's so silly. I think it also just boils down to that Mother Earth, Mother God doesn't really stand for anything.
And they were like, what did they say? They were like, you guys always preach about Mother Earth, but you don't even recycle. And I was like, first off, I responded, I said, ma'am, how do you know that we don't recycle, number one? And number two, the ocean's on fire, okay?
Except for worshiping this disabled alcoholic scam artist. And we start to understand what's sort of going on when there is a runt in the litter. And there are multiple occasions where it's very obvious that there is one or two different characters that exist within their cult that just get absolutely shit on and embarrassed for almost no reason. One of them is Brother John.
Insanity. You got it. Holy shit, Hilarion got it. Now you are fucking insane, correct? Yes. How can an insane individual serve God?
Joanne says
Yes, you are not Mother. Mother is up here. And what have you done? You haven't done anything. You said humanity, what you've done to your host, what you have now.
Come here, pussy! Fucking baby!
Who Father God really just picks on all the time for almost no reason. An important aspect that we'll revisit with some of the former cultists a little bit later is that they're only allowed to sleep for 5 hours a day. They go to bed at midnight, they wake up at 5, they do their podcast live streams at 6 a.m. They also live on like a ranch, so they go outside and they do a lot of outside work. Basically, he was getting humiliated for taking a nap, so all these people are always sleep deprived, 24/7, non-stop.
To do a little video, it's like a drug intervention, you know? My son's on the, he's a heavy doser, smoker, puffer, he likes the lines. He likes his mainline energies just straight from God. You know what I'm saying? He's stealing straight, he don't give a fuck. He'll pass out, pretend he's asleep. But he needs that drug for his butthole. See, last night I seen him, he was like this. Sleeping like this. Sleeping with his dick up in the air and his legs spread like this.
The way that Father God and Mother God justify this is by saying that they're sucking the energy away from them whenever they feel like they have to take a nap. They also don't really advocate for them to sit around a whole lot. They should constantly be in motion, otherwise that's just like dead energy and it brings a bad spirit into the universe, into Mother God, whatever. It's a bunch of just hippy dippy bullshit, but of course these people will fall for it, and if they don't listen, they're gonna get threatened, guaranteed. And that comes to a point where John was doing a live stream or something, and Father God came in upset about whatever and basically threatened him, saying that he would paralyze him if he kept sucking the energy away from everybody.
But I know you ain't gonna fuck me. You ain't gonna tell me to use something and then try to turn the energy on me as I'm going to God. You ain't gonna do that. And then as I get in the house, what you do? You suck for me the whole fucking 13 arrived. He sucked from me in all my essence. And then he got in front of Mom and fucked her. He posed as being Father God and fucked her. You feel me, huh? You feel the head's exploding. It's not yours. So I envision it, I hold it back. Because I know it's not you. You've just been played as the dumb, like Hitler was. You still do not want to acknowledge I have an ankle bone waiting for you in your right temple. Do you want it? Get the fuck over it. Because I got one waiting for the left. It's going to take half your body up.
You're going to be a paraplegic. You're only going to have the right usage of your leg and arm if you push me on this. I'm telling you because I'm father and I love you.
Yeah, that seems like the loving relationship that I'm looking for. It's a damn shame that this cult is basically almost disbanded at this point. Otherwise, my ass would be flying out to Colorado right now. Right now, I'd be the greatest. I'd be the greatest. You know, a guy who sits around and does YouTube videos all day. Oh, they fucking love me over there. John doesn't just get abused by Father God. Mother God, Amy, is also going to abuse him. The most prominent aspect of this is probably when she wanted chicken parmesan for dinner. And he went to go get the food for everybody, and he got her meatballs instead. And so the energy was just sucked out of her because he got meatballs instead of parmesan, chicken parmesan.
My vision was chicken parmesan. So the fucking Adams turn around on me and get me meatballs. I didn't say meatballs. I love meatballs. But I didn't fucking say that. Chicken parmesan.
Oh, trust me, you're not being lobotomized, all right? I know all these concepts are really stupid, they're really dumb, but we just have to sit here and laugh a little bit. We just have to laugh. They think they're superior to us anyway because we're too blinded by our own ego in order to understand what's really happening. But I'm over here saying that if you're basically threatening harm against people because they get you the wrong meal for dinner, then I think your religious cult might not be in the best standing. That's just my opinion. That's just something I'm coming up with. There was also a mention of a contract with John when he was not providing positive energy into the universe or whatever.
Don't. Why are you looking to the left?
That's his go-to.
Yeah.
Is to look away from both mother and father.
You have to look. What have you done?
I've been out of integrity and failing my conscience.
Why? Tell us.
Because the ego program mind hates God. And you are the cockroach. The ego program mind.
The ego program mind.
Why? I mean, how dense can you be? I just basically said repeat this and you went to something else. And you're a whore. You know better. Even as being insulted. You had a better insult for yourself. Regardless. Do you notice it?
So I don't know if when these people show up, they're being given a fucking 12-page fucking lawyer document telling them what they have to believe and what they have to say and what they have to do. Probably not. I feel like they probably signed something on a piece of tweed and they said, yep, all right, there's a legal binding document. Now go out in the fields and fucking grow our food. Get out there, bitch. That's more than likely what I would really think is happening. But even after all these horrible things that are said and done by Amy, everybody still believes that she's a perfect little angel. She's never done anything wrong. And they've been mind-bended. They've been mind-fucked into thinking that anytime something bad that she does to them is actually their own fault. Kind of typical manipulation that you would expect from a cult at this point.
How she gave both of them the biggest piece of meat you could give a dog, and she's like, "That's because I treat everyone like God." Wow. How can we get to that point? How can we get to that point where we're so respectful of everyone around us, and we see Mom so clearly? That we give everything we can to Mom, and that we give all the love that we can to everyone that we see.
And the last major instance I'm going to reference is there's this one guy who joins the cult, and they're on the live stream, and he's basically getting made fun of or manipulated or whatever you want to say into crying. But he says he doesn't feel like he has to cry because the universe isn't telling him to cry, but they're all saying if he's not willing to open up his emotions, then he doesn't really belong here. It's this whole fucking diatribe, convoluted shit that leads to that leads to him crying, and it's just, dear Lord, dear Lord.
explain it now. It's your fucking ego whore we're talking to. It's not you and your higher self. Bring it, please. What else? Because if this has anything to do with my loyalty for God, bring it. Aging is so personal.
Just that you need to figure out how to release whatever this is.
I release every time I go outside and move energy. Yeah, because it feels like I'm being put on the spot to show tears that aren't there.
That's why you keep crying. You know, it's only what mom went through and what we saw.
It really explains how this cult operates. They're all basically crabs in a bucket destroying each other, which uplifts Mother and Father God because they are viewed positively as these omnipotent, great creators that we are just lowly scum on the bottom of their shoes, and we have to do everything we can to try and make them feel better.
And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch.
Now, I have inferred it a little bit that Amy is actually dead currently. She passed away in April of 2021. So we're 3 years removed from Amy. And basically what happened was the cultists took her body, mummified it, and transported it to some other person's house.
Of their discovery of the mummified remains of an alleged cult leader.
I think decomp mummification.
That person then reported them to the police, and the police showed up, and turns out she was actually mummified. And they had basically been painting her nails, cleaning her skin, doing this whole shebang, wrapped her up in blankets, put lights all around her.
Saguache County Sheriff's deputies made a startling discovery back in April. They found the remains of 45-year-old Amy Stroud, dead for weeks. In these images, her body is wrapped in blankets and Christmas lights. We've blurred her face. It had turned blue from a silver treatment she was ingesting. She was better known as Mother God and led a spiritual group or cult called Love Has Won. 7 members of the cult were charged after her body was found. They all faced 1 count of abuse of a corpse and 2 counts of child abuse because kids were found in the home with her body. Those charges, though, were dropped weeks later with no explanation. Now, months later, these new autopsy results from the El Paso County Coroner's Office show no trauma to her body. She actually died from organ failure caused by anorexia, alcohol abuse, and the final factor, ingesting colloidal silver, something that's falsely touted to have medical benefits.
It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty deranged, right? And we get this body cam footage that showcases the dwelling that they existed in, and it really just looks like a fucking Far Cry 5 shanty house where all these worshipers are living within.
You got anything on that coat stick me? Just relax for me, okay?
Anything in your pockets?
Yeah, I have some lighter in my wallet.
Okay.
What's in your front pocket? Huh?
It's out for me.
Okay. So I'm gonna take it out, okay?
Set it right there. Okay, I need you to turn around for me. Then put your arms up a little higher. There we go. Thank you.
Spread your feet for me, please. Can I have you come over here, please?
All right, thank you. Can you go and step over there for me towards the door? Sure.
Turn around for me.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back for me, please.
Wow, they painted her. Is it?
That's it. I think decomp. Decomp mummification. That's what I'm guessing at this point.
The eyelids and stuff.
The eyelids they painted, yeah. Holy shit.
It doesn't look organized. You would think that at the crux of it, maybe organization and responsibility would be something that Amy would be looking towards, but nah, they just kind of live in this weird, filthy trap house. Their charges were ultimately dropped. We're not exactly sure why they were dropped. The assumption is probably because there were no signs of abuse on Amy. And I guess once you get the explanation of what their air quote religion is, I guess the DA just said, I guess we'll let it go. But basically, Amy had been inferring for a long time that she had cancer that was going to kill her. And when the coroner did the autopsy, it turns out that she basically died of organ failure. And it's heavily speculated that the reason for this organ failure is because she would drink silver. She would drink silver, which I guess it's been a tradition throughout a lot of different cultures throughout time that allegedly this is supposed to help ward off fungal and bacterial infections and whatever.
Now, Stroud had been reportedly telling people she had metastatic cancer, which is likely one of the reasons she was ingesting all that colloidal silver. When Dr. Russell performed the autopsy, she didn't find any signs of cancer.
That compounded with her heavy alcohol usage leads me to believe that her kidneys failed. And that would also lead me to believe and understand why from her nether regions, she would have a lot of blood issues. That's my hypothesis. I don't think it's been absolutely certified that that's the reason why she died. But I think combining alcohol and silver into your diet probably is not a great combination. Basically, immediately after her death, a lot of people found these news reports. They found out that she had died, and they were getting harassed a lot on live streams. But basically every cult member for an extended amount of time just said, nah, you guys are wrong. You're wrong. She's not dead. The movement is still continuing on.
Because if she dies, we all die. That's why she's still here. And the people that don't see her as God, that don't want to admit it, that they don't feel it, whatever.
We're here to discuss Amy has been found deceased in the Muppet House. You're buying into mainstream media again. You're buying into the illusion. You're buying into fantasy. You're making up your own stories. And I don't wish to entertain your fantasy.
Or look, whatever. We honor Mom every day. And we will continue to honor Mom as Mother God, for sure, forever. And we will continue to tell the world about everything that's grand and everything that Mom's doing. You know, why don't you go and read if that's what's happening. You know, I highly recommend that you discover this read to anyone that has lost anyone at any time. Mom used to do those still every day. And she guides us from wherever she is, so it doesn't matter.
And we finally get sort of like an explanation as to why did she decay? And she sort of took like a Steve Jobs route, I guess you could say, where she wanted to do this holistic treatment. She doesn't believe in hospitals or doctors because they live in the 3D sphere and she lives in the 5D sphere. And so if she would have gone to a doctor to get surgery or treatment, that a Kabbalic warlock demon would infiltrate the doctor and kill her.
Oh, Mom, yeah, there's no way that Mom would go to a 3D doctor. They would be so impressed by Mom to begin with. First off, Mom just triggers people who just died and smiling and everything. It doesn't trigger. So to take her to a dense place like that, absolutely not. There's no know what's going on. But after to take her to a hospital, because it's just there's no way, and we know exactly how the hijacking works, and to bet your fucking ass that someone in that hospital, whoever it would be, would get hijacked, go straight to her mom, try to do try to take her to surgery, they would try to do some crazy shit.
I literally never thought I would be saying these combinations of words together, but yes, that's what her and the cultists actually believe related to this is, yeah, you know, demons are gonna possess this doctor so that, you know, they fix your kidneys. That's bad. So I'll just go and drink lead out of the fucking riverbank down the hill. That's a better solution, I guess. So recently, they are still doing their podcast. It's still a thing. And they're kind of coping because obviously, I feel like this is the most prominent recent development that has happened within the cult is her dying. Not a lot of developments have come from that. It seems like the group is kind of a little bit more disbanded. And basically, they just keep saying that even if she's not God, then they still feel validated because their experiences were good. And if she is God, then they were justified all the time.
And so moving forward, it's kind of going to be like, you know, we're not here to convince anybody anymore. Nor are we here to debate. We're not going to debate with the fucking ego mind. Like, it's kind of going to be where I feel that all the things that are going to come out, like we said, not just mom, but like these other spiritual concepts, right? All of these things are going to start speaking for themselves.
Will tell, and that's what I said recently. There's two options here. Amy Carlson is not Mother God, in which case, when God returns, would love to meet that God and see how it goes. The second option is Amy Carlson comes back. She was actually the Divine Mother in human form, in which case, we told you so. And at any rate, no matter what happens, we don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter from our perspective what's what. And if people, you know, like, that doesn't matter to us. So people saying things to us now that she's not here makes it a bit easier because she doesn't have to feel those things.
Yeah. You know, she was telling him about this, and, you know, he asked her the same thing and said, well, what if you're wrong? And she said, well, what if I'm fucking right? That's the question you should be asking. And that was my response a few years ago, too, when people started saying that. I was like, if she's not God, right, it's no skin off my back. Because either way, what she taught us and what we experience with her is the most profound and unique experience we could have ever had that made us infinitely better people.
It's just, it's a major cope, and in my opinion, I feel like they should just go balls to the wall, and they should just say, well, actually, she is God, and she's been reincarnated right now, I'm sure. She's probably some fucking 12-year-old Indian boy running around down there. We have to go find her, all right? She's our one last true hope. That's what we have to figure out. So that basically summarizes the big developments. And then the final part, I want to talk about how the cultists interacted with Amy directly, how people leave, and what Dr. Phil has to do with all this shit.
Need you to name an animal.
Yeah.
That we eat but doesn't eat us.
Doesn't eat us, that's easy. A dragon!
Charlie, do you eat dragon?
No, I don't eat dragon because it's not a meal for peasants, it's a meal for kings, and I'm sort of a common man.
So one of the funniest videos that I came across related to this entire cult is all of the people living in the house get together to do this sob story video where they apologize to Mother God for all of the transgressions that they've done.
I see what I've done, and I'm grateful to have these moments to be able to express myself and confess what I've done.
Sometimes I'll take foods that aren't for me. The other night I made a peanut butter and icing frosting sandwich with a jar of frosting that I knew was not for the team. I knew that it was either for baked goods to be sold or for mom's pastries, and I used some of that.
Haven't done it. There's been many moments where I've observed dysfunction in the field.
That I'm looking to get out of, and I'm sorry, Mom, that I've let you down, and I haven't been everything that I am capable of. I know better, I am better than that.
Now it's funny because while they're doing this and while they're wallowing and while they're saying a bunch of shit that is really basic, it's like none of them have been murdering people, all right? They've been doing things like eating or buying the wrong foods or going out on mission for too long. They're just not punctual enough, I guess. They sit too often, they sleep too long, and they're overall just stealing her energy, and that's bad. It's just, oh boy. But the entire time, you basically have Amy screaming in the background. For what reason? I have no clue. It's never really explained. They all just kind of sit there and smirk when it happens, but I'm like, sounds like she's being possessed. Do we need Mother God 2 to come exorcise her? I don't know. Maybe is that what Father God is doing? It's a bit perplexing. Maybe this is like late stage, her dying, her body decaying, and she's feeling the pain. I don't really know. It's kind of confusing to me. A prominent feature of this cult is that everything is dictated by Amy. If you want to go out somewhere, you need permission, and you need to return when she says you return. If you want to buy something, you yourself do not have money. She has money. So if you want to buy a certain food, if you want to buy cloth, if you want to buy yarn, you go to her. You do not keep money. And that becomes sort of a squabble between one of the older ladies who, I guess, quilts things to sell to give money to Amy, and she gets nothing in return.
I just want to apologize to Mom and Dad for hoarding funds and dollars. I hadn't been in the field for almost like 2 years, and the last time I was here, I felt like when I was wanting to come back to the field, I was asking myself how I could actually do things differently to, not repeat the same mistakes. And so one of the things was that I knit and sew and I quilt and I crochet, not crochet, but I do a lot of crafts. And the last time I was here, I had surrendered all my dollars to Mom and Pop, and then had nothing for myself and felt like, it might have been a better idea just to have a few dollars to use for crafts and stuff like that. Okay, and that's where I got messed up.
But she can't rationalize it. You're not allowed to think for yourself either. You can't just sit there and be like, well, actually, I think it might make sense for me to hold on to a $5 so I can get a fucking soda the next time I go out to town.
Create a quilt. I am. Okay. I'm not sure.
She said thank you, Squid. Thank you, Mom. You just justified. Just be transparent.
Okay.
Blaming Mom.
Oh, I hope that doesn't sound like
It's a
that.
lack of trust. That's what it is.
It was a lack of trust.
Nope, you're not allowed to think that, because if you do, you're ultimately just deflecting your blame to God. And obviously that's
fun.
bad. Amy can't take any responsibility. All the responsibility comes onto all the followers. So basically you start to have former members leave and speak out as...
Yo, that dude in the cult was wearing a Metallica Death Magnetic shirt. Oh my God. How... You're in a cult and you're wearing a terrible Metallica album shirt? What's wrong with you? Scum.
That's what was actually happening there.
I mean, not scum, but just seriously, come on, bro.
They talk about how wizards and warlocks are possessing the members, and
it's time to stop.
That's what happens if they don't listen to God.
And I learned that I am love and we're all love. And to truly find out that what Love Is One was really doing is feeding off of our fear and adrenaline energetically, to be able to access higher dimensions through what felt like dream state. Only while I was awake, that every moment I spent on mission, I found out that thousands, supposedly, witches and warlocks were accessing my power and draining me for everything I was to create a soulless being making me susceptible through being broken down to being energetically drained until we become so numb with nothing more to give energetically. So then we are discorded and disposed.
They basically confirmed that they do get lack of sleep there. There were certain people that are still part of the cult. The two fucking hippie ladies basically say that, no, we get enough sleep, but everybody else that's left basically confirms that, yeah, we get like 5 hours of sleep, and then we have to go do live streams and manual labor, and we also are in high altitude, so they're constantly like delirious. They're exhausted 24/7, and it kind of helps to make them loyal followers.
She only lets us sleep 4 hours. We have to wake up every day at 5 a.m. We start live stream at 6. Everything is revolved around Amy. I came out with all these amazing herbal supplements, and pretty much I don't get the credit, she does. All the money that came from the herbal supplements, that came from things that we create and that we make, it all goes to Amy, because Amy is considered God. High altitude, you're already lacking oxygen to the brain, which causes you to hallucinate and see and feel and experience things that aren't real. If somebody gets you weak enough and not in your head, you believe and buy the things that get said, because we manifest our own experiences.
Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning,
all right, so that was really bad, but I was scratching my nose, so please forgive me.
They have been featured on Vice, HBO, and Dr. Phil. I'm going to focus primarily on the Dr. Phil aspect. There's other information on the other two documentaries that if you want to explore more, I invite you to do. But for this video alone, I'm just going to focus on the Dr. Phil aspect. We basically find out that she abandoned her children because she believes that she went into her youngest child's room where the crib was, and she saw the Archangel Michael that told her to go out and become a magic medicine worker, to go explore and go do your mission.
But her sister Chelsea claims the group is a cult and is concerned that Amy has become mentally ill. Chelsea says 14 years ago, Amy left her own family, including her young children, to join a man she called Father God, and is now brainwashing members. Now, Mother God says she can do surgery with her hands, talk to the dead, and has reincarnated more than 500 times. Her family fears not only for her safety, but the safety of all of the followers. Surprised when she abandoned her 3 children?
Yes, I was.
That was not something you expected her to do?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see any warning signs of
Nope.
it?
No.
Was she close to her children?
No, not really. She wasn't a very maternal mother. We had the children a lot in our family over to our house.
Explain abandoning your children.
For me, I did not abandon my children. I begged my angels I didn't want to leave. And they told me I had to go on mission. If I didn't do it, then no one else would. And I had to make a jump, and I had to make a decision.
So just a higher calling.
Yes, absolutely.
A higher
so
calling.
I gave over all the papers to their fathers and said, thank you for taking care of our children. I appreciate it. And I left on mission.
So she doesn't need any fucking convincing, and there she goes. She's off and about to go start this cult.
I don't think it will.
Divorces her husband, I guess, marries other dudes, has multiple fathers, gets new people. It's a whole shebang. So she starts to get pressed about some of the events that I talked about earlier in this video, like locking the child in the closet. Dr. Phil's not having any of that.
For me, it's not the poor judgment that I see on your part, but the fact that I'm looking at 5 or 6 or 7 adults in the room, and not one person in the room has the backbone to stand up and say, this is not okay. You're not going to bully and abuse this child and traumatize them by putting them in a closet with a closed door like this.
What we were doing is experimenting.
On a child.
They weren't locked in a closet. They were put in timeout, Dr. Phil.
In a closet.
Timeout.
In a closet.
Yeah.
With a closed door.
Well, they were in dark, so that they could focus and center on themselves, and we put an adult there with them.
He's saying that's just, you're just torturing the child. And she's trying to justify it as a form of capital punishment. I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying you can't spank kids, but I think if you take an obviously distressed child and lock them into a confined dark space with no way for them to get out, I'm not necessarily certain that that's timeout and that's teaching them anything. But hey, what do I know? I'm not God. I mean, come on, Saturate, get your shit together. So as I mentioned, you have these two prominent girls, Hope and Amber, whatever the fuck their names are. They're basically these like over-socialized college retards who blindly believe everything that is ever told to them. And they just severely lack critical thinking.
I believe that Amy is Mother God, correct?
Yes, we
Absolutely.
know
And what is Mother God to you?
so. She is everything to us.
I mean, what does Mother God, do you believe that she is God?
Absolutely.
So you spend the day in the presence of the deity, of God, the creator of the universe.
Yes.
Hope, Aurora, you would like to respond?
We're both college graduates and some of the most brilliant people in our family. If this was everything that everybody is saying against her, we would be gone. If I were to choose to leave and get on a flight back home, Mom would send me off with love. All of the people that have left have made their own decision.
Obviously, they think they're smarter than me. Oh, Saturate, he's just not enlightened. He just doesn't understand any of it. Well, it's rich of you to say that coming from probably very prestigious families that are normal. You probably have both parents. You probably went to a prestigious high school. You went to college. Your parents probably paid for it. And you basically develop no skills at all in life, and you're easily manipulated into giving your entire existence to this retard who is an alcoholic, who believes that she was God and was crucified on the cross. Am I getting that right? But I'm the naive one. I'm stupid. I just don't get it. So we also find out that she does these like spiritual healings over Zoom. That's very cool. That's what I want. If I have ass cancer and I'm like, please, Amy, I need you to cure my ass cancer. And I just shoved my asshole against the screen and she says, you're healed. Well, great. That's a sick $5,000 just right deposited into her bank account. We basically find out that at one point she had $500,000 in bank account funds from doing these things. So it's not like they were hurting.
Would gather funds through performing these surgeries. I've heard talk about money in certain accounts. I was blown away. She claimed in one of them was over $400,000. And another one I heard was $100,000. I do think Amy's running a scam.
Initially, you might think, yeah, I never really get how these cults can survive. Making money is probably hard. Well, they lived on a pretty nice ranch in the middle, like by the mountains in rural Colorado. So it's like there was funding from somewhere. And I think it's from these medicine man talks. It also tells Dr. Phil that she has stage 5 cancer.
You say that you're paralyzed now, correct?
That's correct.
So you can't.
And I have 5-stage level of cancer.
97. Why would I uninstall?
100% full body.
You have stage 5 cancer.
Yes.
What is stage 5 cancer?
That's to the bones.
You can't heal that?
I have made all my attempts to do that for myself, and that's why I'm here in Hawaii to really focus in on that and do that.
Thinking about it since I've been drinking.
Which I guess just means that your bones have cancer, but that would just mean you have a different type of cancer. It doesn't mean that you just compound everything together. And as I mentioned previously through her autopsy, she never had cancer. She had organ failure. So, yeah, God flubs some of these things every once in a while. What, you expect her to be perfect all the time? That's just ridiculous. Dr. Phil also brought on this wife and investigator or lawyer or whatever she is to discuss her husband that was part of the cult for 2 days. He was there for 2 days, and basically they didn't like him. They didn't think he fit in. So they went to go do like a spiritual hiking retreat, and it is speculated that they gave him hallucinogens and left him in the mountains by himself and disappeared. And he basically stripped down naked and was wandering around in the wild out there. So when the wife didn't get any texts or calls from him in like a day, she called to have a search party go out, and he was found naked trespassing on some man's yard. Some like rancher's farmland out there.
We've spoken with multiple leading cult experts. We've learned a lot about undue influence. So there's a lot of different concerns with this group.
And how did your brother get involved?
He found this group also online. He is a conspiracy theorist, and so he believed their conspiracy that we are ascending into this 5D Earth. And he truly did think that this was a spiritual mission. And so he was there and ready to, what he believed, save humanity, is where we realized that he was in danger. He called my mother saying that he was on foot. He was coming home. He was on his way to the airport. However, the airport is a 3 to 4 hour drive away. That evening is the evening live stream where this group then laughed and mocked him that, his energies didn't mesh well. You can't tell mother no that you want to sleep. You have to cut all ties. So we realized that he was in danger. And then that following morning is when we started our rescue day.
It's pretty obvious that she's just a fraud that is clearly doing lip service here, trying to make herself seem like this redeemable character. But we have the receipts. We have all the videos of you being a terrible, horrible manipulator. Yet you just somehow found people dumb and naive enough to fall for your bullshit.
You tell them you're God. You're actually God. You hung on the cross. You recall being crucified on the cross, and that you are God.
In truth, we are all God.
That's not what you say. You don't say you're all God. You say, I am Mother God.
I am Mother God, but we are all God. I encourage them to follow their own heart and to serve love.
You create this dichotomy where either you are with God, or you are wrong. You are in a very negative existence.
And I still think it's kind of funny because at the end of the whole thing, the happy-go-lucky lady, she still wishes them happiness, even though that they drugged and abandoned her brother in the wild after 2 days of knowing him, and they just already decide, yeah, this guy sucks, fuck him, leave him, who gives a shit? And she says, I still really care. I still am looking out for you.
And then Amy flips it that was a test, and he then is in trouble. That's not true love. That's not divine. That's not loving everywhere present. So I'm sorry that you all feel attacked by us sharing the truth of my brother's story, but the reality is that your actions are not a place of love, and that I truly care for each and every one of you, Amy included. There are no hard feelings. I hope that everybody gets the help that they really need.
Well, I'll say it, because other people, I guess, won't. The world is better because Amy Carlson is dead and gone. She will not be able to stick her claws into vulnerable people trying to find a solution to their ailments. That's a bonus. Instead, we are just stuck with a small group of gaggling idiots who are going to make these live streams talking about shit. But it seems like even they are starting to lose faith and lose hope in their mission. And I'm grateful for that. Maybe I'm a cynic. Maybe I'm just too melancholy. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think that love has won.
What game is this?
Rainbow Six.
Why? Why are we playing Rainbow?
It's what brings the most viewers.
Alright. I love you.
Love you, baby.
Have a good stream. You can only ban 10 people during this stream. Okay?
I don't ban anybody. My mom's banned.
Ban World is almost full.
That's a lie. I've seen Band World in much higher capacity than it is right now. Would I actually name my child Jordy Jordan Jr.? Yeah. Like if I had a boy, it'd be Jordy Jordan Jr. If I had a girl, her name would be Sarella.
I think it should be a crime if you name your child Jordy Jordan Jr. That should be, the state should come in, raid your house, steal your child away, because you're just setting up this kid for a lifetime of failure. And I seem to remember, Wings, you were very adamant right before you got married, right after you got married, and a few times since then that, nah, I'm not gonna have any kids, dog. I don't have money, dog. My dick doesn't work, dog. I don't have any testosterone, dog. That's the Wings I remember. And now somehow he's being finagled into wanting to have kids. A bit sus to me. I don't know, maybe Sneak Diss and Kelly's finally getting up in there and she is just uppercutting Fat Man and is saying, you know what? You don't get to look at my saggy tits anymore if we aren't trying to make kids. And oh boy, Mr. Low T over here, that got him thinking about it. That got him almost getting his dick out of his poopa. That's most definitely what is up, YouTube. That's an image that we all want to imagine. And at the end of the day, if you're gonna look at the locales that could have children, Wings might be the best of them. It's not saying much, but that kid may have a slightly normal life. Maybe. Now his dad is a complete failure and his mom is a pushover and caters to everything that Fat Man wants, so I wouldn't go too far, but we're gonna look at a bunch of different fucking Wings-isms that have been going on lately, and oh boy, Mr. Wingo, he's down bad.
Bagel bites. We got some bagel bites. What's up, Ray Trey Alien? This is actually better than I was lately. Like, honestly. Like, I didn't have a voice the last couple days. Like, so I had to sit out the locale live. Because, like, I had a little bit of a voice before the podcast. And I did the podcast. And my voice just went just right down the toilet. And I didn't have a voice for a good while. You know it is, I can't keep missing work.
Does it irritate anybody else when Wings or Boogie talks about the podcast as being work? It irritates me because Wings' whole objective with the podcast, outside of making money for himself, is to get guests on the show. And he fails time and time again. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will see every once in a while I'll quote tweet him because he uses fucking Twitter like a Google search where he'll ask obvious questions and then, I don't know, ask his lemmings to come out and give him the answer instead of looking it up himself. I mean, this guy has like no drive. He has no motivation. It's the same with Boogie. And listening to him call it a job, oh, I have to show up to my job. Yeah, I have to sit there for 2 hours and fucking be quiet half the time. That's so fucking hard. I mean, the podcast is one of the least researched things that exist in the entire lolcow sphere, which is shocking because there's plenty of fucking clickbait garbage that goes on throughout lolcow stardom. Yet these guys just sit there, don't research anything about anybody that they bring on, and just cry and complain and rant all the time. That's it. Follow up. I'm not a big fan of Bagel Bites. I know I've had some controversial food opinions out here, but Bagel Bites, never understood it, never made much sense to me. I don't even, and this is gonna be even more controversial, I don't even like pizza rolls or pizza bites that much, alright? But they're better than Bagel Bites. That's my definitive opinion. At the end of the day, it's just probably microwave garbage slop. You know, suck it down your gullet, Jordy. He's replacing banquet meals for fucking frozen Bagel Bites. That's most definitely what's up.
There was a deal that was made in January where Keemstar bet me and Boogie to lose weight, and we had 2 months to lose as much weight as humanly possible, and we would get his cut of the money. And I didn't get it. And since I didn't get it, I've been eating everything under the sun. All of it, dog. Every piece of food that I could put in my fat fucking mouth, I had it in my mouth.
So somebody explain this to me. How are these two things correlate to each other? How does Keemstar not hooking you up with the whatever $2,000 that you're owed lead you to just eating Bagel Bites all day and drinking Pepsi and Yoo-Hoos? Explain that to me. I'm a bit perplexed at this dilemma that we are presented with because, I mean, Keemstar's a rat. He's not trustworthy. He himself is a lolcow. So I don't know why he is viewed so favorably among a sect of people that pay attention to this sphere of the internet. But okay, cool. I don't see how it would be, to cope, baby, I gotta go get fucking 40 Dave singles real quick right now. That's most definitely was not up. I just don't get it. I really don't. I mean, I talked about in my last Boogie video that like I am sympathetic to like the food disorders that people have. A lot of people don't understand it, and I'm sympathetic to it, but at the same time, there has to be some amount of owning what you're doing. And Wings doesn't really own anything. He always is just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. It sucks, man. I didn't get paid money. Oh, okay, cool. Keep digging that fucking 6-foot wide grave, buddy.
I still ain't got no silver play button. What? No. Like with that, we had a side bet on the boxing match. We put our silver play buttons up.
That motherfucker. He hasn't done that yet?
Nah, and like I only have my silver play button. He has his gold, so his silver don't mean shit. I ain't sent me my silver play button yet.
10 seconds. Bro, I've seen the Low Car podcast. He ain't doing so good, but I think he's just overhyping it.
The problem with Boogie is like his blood is thickening, and he has high blood pressure, which could cause blood clots and cause like pulmonary embolisms or even heart failure. That's the issue Boogie's running into right now.
Yeah, so the reason that the podcast sucks, guys, is because Boogie's heart is turning into syrup. It's a syrup factory inside of his body, and it's Willy Wonka dancing around as his blood is liquefied into maple syrup. That's most definitely what is up. I appreciate the honesty from Wings, you know, a man who just completely understands medicine and ailments that exist inside people's body. And the funny thing is, like, I've already discussed the whole Boogie health situation type deal, and he could do more to try and lose weight, so could Wings, yet they both think that because they're so fat, they understand what the limitations on themselves are, but they aren't, because they're both really like weak-willed, weak-minded people, and so they don't push themselves when they should. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. Wings is going to complain about his channel, and we'll talk about like there are remedies in order to at least boost it somewhat, and he's just lazy and is incapable of doing that. And same with Boogie. But at the same time, the whole like play button thing, honestly, when the whole EDP situation went down and he was forced to sell all of his shit on his own personal website, if it wasn't EDP, right? If it wasn't a pedo, owning a play button from some like fallen YouTube titan like EDP or Boogie or Wings would kind of be lit. I'm keeping it 100. I would love to own Boogie's play button. Now, I'm not going to give him an exorbitant amount of money. Would I give him $100 for it? Probably. I think owning Boogie's play button would be kind of cool. Maybe that just makes me lame. Maybe that just makes me some sort of loser groupie. But hey, I think that's a piece of like internet history right there.
All right, guys, please hit the like button. If we don't get 100 likes in the first hour, I'm probably going to shut the stream down. Because the stream obviously didn't go out to people, so like, there's no reason to stream. YouTube is not being stupid today. Chud Logic has 1,200 viewers watching him watch YouTube videos. No, I said you can't see how many people dislike. They've kind of took it off the hub. Quit being fucking a stickler, man. I'm just trying to get more people in here. More people that engage, more people that chat, the more likely YouTube is going to put stuff out into the sub box. Stop being an asshole. All right, go ahead and ban call me dude, bro, please. Truist texting, like I would, but like people are not actually helping me out get the stream pushed out there because like the stream didn't go out to people, so I asked for 100 likes, and if people don't want to hit the like button to help the fucking stream out, I'm not going to stream. That's just the thing, right? That's the point, Goofy. 5 seconds. I'm trying to condition people to like the video more because my actual viewers never like. Since they don't like it, doesn't get put out.
I feel like this is a really boomer understanding of the algorithm that Wings always tries to push. Engagement is good for your channel, but I don't think 100 likes on a stream of a guy that has 400,000 subscribers and is getting 100 viewers is going to equate to, you know what? YouTube's really changing their minds here. They're thinking, actually, this channel is lit. Everybody loves this channel. Let's send it out to a ton of people. Now, when you upload a video, and it happens with evergreen content, I guess you want to say, basically YouTube will do these trials where like when you first upload a video, they'll send it out to the regular people, and then a little bit later, maybe 12 hours, maybe a day, they'll send it out to a different chunk of people to see if they're interested. And if they are interested, it continues down the line until people stop tuning into it, right? So you're able to have these spikes show up every once in a while. I don't really know if that relates to streaming. I mean, I stream once every blue moon, and I don't give a flying fuck if people are showing up or not. I enjoy it when people are there, but I'm not sitting there like, all right, guys, let's see. I typically get thousands of views on a video, and there's only like 200 people here. What the fuck? Like, I'm gonna end my stream right now. Like, real talk. It's like, how fucking entitled and pretentious are you? It's at this point, it's like I really don't get it from Wings. What's the difference between 100 viewers and 200 viewers? Do you actually think that 200 viewers are gonna turn into 1,000 viewers down the road? I mean, give me a fucking break, dude.
But like, it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to like get complacent. I just wish I could see growth on streaming, and I just don't ever get to see growth. Like, there's channels way smaller than mine pulling 1,000 viewers. I should be pulling 1,000 viewers. How many years I've been doing this, and I'm not.
Note to everybody out there, he's not saying I should be pulling 1,000 viewers because he's entitled to it. He's saying he should pull 1,000 viewers because he's been doing it for so long. He has built an audience in the past, and it's kind of embarrassing that he doesn't pull it, right? Now, some of you might think he's not that self-aware. I'll give Jordy the benefit of the doubt here, all right? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, it just is at this point where certain people are targeting certain things that people will be interested in. So me talking about Cyrax on a live stream, even though I don't live stream very often, will pull more viewers than a Jordy stream, because honestly, real talk, I just don't get the fascination with sitting there and listening to a live streamer. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I will put streams up on my other screen when I'm working on stuff, but it's muted. It's just to have a fucking moving picture on the side. I could put a fucking TV show silent on the side and it'd be the exact same thing, right? But I just don't get it, especially with gaming. If you're not the greatest player and you don't have the greatest personality in the world, why would I tune in?
Well, quit looking at the camera, man. I shake my legs. It's something I always do, and it's something I can't stop. He's an active troll in Lolcow Live. He basically tried to throw my viewer count up in my face to make me anxious. He's constantly sneak dissed throughout the last week. He deserves a 30-minute ban. Crunchy Munchy, why would you dislike my stream, man? Like, why do you hate me so much that you want to, like, mess with my money?
Liking your stream is not taking money away from you, you fucking dunce. All right? Like, there are still people out there. Go watch a fucking Amberlyn Reed video. She will get a 4-to-1 dislike ratio and still pulls in cashola. All right? Having any sort of engagement is good. Even if people are saying saturated content, worst content in the entire world, I'd rather suck off my dad than fucking watch another video of his. Cool. Go off, King, because that's only giving more engagement for me, right? And I get to read it and laugh and be like, damn, this guy's really fucking sad. You're taking your time out of the day to cry and complain. Now, if Wings would sit here and say, wow, man, you thought it was worth your time to tell me that you dislike my stream? How fucking sad and pathetic are you? You're one of 150 people in here and you thought that was relevant? That was a good use of your time in your life? Yikes. That's scary, bro. That's a bad look on you. Oh, fucking owned. You just owned him. But nah, he's too fragile, he's too delicate. We need to be nice to Mr. Wingo, all right? He's a 400-pound man. He can barely walk. You know, you have issues with wiping your ass when you're 450 pounds.
Because let me be real here, man. Like the bullshit and like, first off, when I insult people, most of the time it's not my feelings are hurt. Like, I just try to be funny, and like insulting and talking down to people is what I do best, right? Like, if you give me somebody I can dog on, I'm pretty funny, like, right? I like to say I'm charismatic, but you know, there's a lot that goes into like how you feel, like situations on like where your mental headset, where you're mentally at, and stuff like that. They go into like, oh man, do I need to pick a video?
So Wings is talking about, yeah, you know, I could broaden my horizons on YouTube. Maybe I could pull more people in if I did more gameplay commentaries or let's plays or IRL videos, whatever. And I posted multiple times a week. Maybe I could pull more people in. But no, I'm Wings, I'm scared. I don't like the idea of people being mean to me online. Even though he cries and complains on his stream all day that people are bullying him, right? So you have to pick a lane. Either you're okay with being bullied because you're on the internet and that's what people do, or you're not and you disappear. All right, those are your choices. You can be bullied, make your videos, and maybe you open yourself up to a new audience that comes in, and maybe it works out. Now, I don't really think it would, because I don't see Wings putting in the time and effort that it would take to actually revitalize his channel. He is such a victim and such a sad sack of shit that, like, I just don't really see him showing up and being like, you know what, we're gonna really crank out this fucking Bucky's walkthrough video that I did. And he cried and complained when that video came out, because he's like, oh, it didn't do as well as I thought. It got like 15K views in a couple days. Like, that's pretty good for not uploading a video in forever. You don't even get like 250 viewers on your streams typically. Like, pick a lane, bro.
I'm a sexy man. Put quit hating. Like if I wasn't a 400-pound, can of Crisco, it'd be over for you hoes. Dude, the next local's is either gonna flop and everybody's gonna hate it, or it's gonna be like set the standard of what people want from local. Because I feel like the next episode is the actual first episode with an actual local. I'm referring to any guy that would be like a 5 or 6, for example, like receding hairline, that kind of shit. Like I got a receding hairline. That's just one of the plights I have in my life. You know what I do? I shave that bitch off. I don't try to do the comb over, any of that bull. No, I'm an average looking dude, right? But like I'm cute in the face. I mean, my abject, like what I find attractive is not what everybody finds attractive. Like I like big girls, and like to me, personality goes a long way.
We've been over this. He likes big girls because that's all he can get. Cool, go off, king. That's your prerogative. Cool, do whatever you want to do. The fact that he has the cognitive dissonance to believe that he is a 5 or 6 is bizarre. There's a reason I'm 30 goddamn 1, gray hair, gray beard, real talk. All right, what? You think I've forgotten? You think I'm getting rid of that? You're fucking almost 40 years old. You have no hair. You have no money. You have no career. You sit online and play video games all day. You're 400 pounds. Should I go further? I mean, you have a toxic relationship with the environment that you put yourself in. I mean, there's so many things that people could grill you on, yet you want to sit here and say, you know what? Damn, Jordy's pretty fucking sexy. Oh my God.
My return on investment has been poor lately.
I'm trying to get mouthy, but can't mess with that.
Dude, Local Podcast has almost doubled my income. What are you talking about? My channel
Might still be at work.
My channel money's up. My viewers up. My viewer retention's up. I don't know what you're looking at. How are you making money on a podcast when you lose 10K viewers a month? You're basing it all off YouTube ads. Like, what you don't understand, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on a couple other platforms. We got shorts on Facebook, we got YouTube, we got YouTube Shorts, we got YouTube videos, we got 552 subscriptions. We have people who come in and support the podcast through donations. Like, I don't know what you're saying, Amari. Like all you're looking at is one aspect of the business.
They keep doing this cope where it's like, actually, guys, we have all these other avenues of revenue. Cool. But you're currently averaging like 25K views a video, which is really bad. Really bad. Like, part of the problem is they should fire their editor and just upload the live stream in its entirety. And then for the members only stuff, because I know Keem, Rat Keem with his little hat on top of his head, I know he's going to complain and say, well, we have to make more. I have to make money off of this show. Okay, cool. Do a separate fucking after show every episode that is members only. Cool. You figured it out, buddy. It shouldn't be the stream to the members and then an edited bullshit garbage version for everybody else. How do you think that's going to pull people in? Fucking stupid. The podcast is going to be dead by this time next year. I feel pretty confident about that. Bringing people like Shoe Nice on and thinking, we finally got a locale. You are the locale, buddy. Like, Christ. These guys are so unaware of their surroundings. It's embarrassing. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
On purchasing them, and he had a middleman in between you guys who had the cards, or you were in possession of them.
He didn't have a middleman. I had a middleman because that middleman has been my friend since 2016 because he bought my video game brand.
Okay, so what happened with that then? Why does Boogie say that you were stolen?
He came to me while I was there and said, hey, I heard that you're a financial guru. I said, yes, that's what happens when you make $5.3 billion in your lifetime. He said, hey, will you get me out of financial hawk? I heard you're a financial Jesus. I said, yes, I am. I created the infinite banking model, and I have a ×2 investment strategy that you could do every 12 months, and you will double your entire wealth.
Is it no surprise that Boogie will get tricked by a man like this? I guarantee you a ×2 infinite banking model that you just put money in and take it out within a year and you're doubling your money. Slam doink. Oh, slam doink. Now, I want to give a brief shout out to Lunar Parks, who somehow concocted an interview with Boogie Shaman. Don't really know how that worked out, considering that Lunar Parks was doing furry VR online trolling videos prior to somehow snagging this interview with the shaman. So if you're missing out, there's a lot of things flying over your head. $5.3 billion, damn, if only Boogie could get 50K. Get out of debt, you know? Hook him up a little bit over there, Mr. Flaming Water, Mr. Firewater. Hit him up. That's most definitely what is up. In case you missed it, basically Boogie on Twitter has been talking for like a week straight about how his shaman went to his house and vandalized it. And this is on the back of Boogie claiming that the shaman was yelling in his dog's face, and Boogie, the big tough guy, kicked him out, and that the shaman believed he was entitled to $100,000 worth of Boogie's magic collection. It's a whole thing, but are we surprised? Even if this conversation actually happened between the shaman and Boogie, I mean, Boogie's seeing flashing green dollar signs inside of his eyes. He's not even listening. He heard billion, and he's like, ka-ching, ka-ching, help me out, Mr. Firewater. I need your help, buddy. So we're gonna examine it. We're gonna examine. Boogie basically had two different videos leading up to this point. One that basically doesn't have a ton to do with the incident that occurred, but don't worry, Boogie clickbaited it perfectly. He titled it "Afraid to Go Home," even though the Firewater guy situation didn't happen until basically the end of the video. But we're gonna review it, and we'll talk about some other things.
You'll know that I'm actually in Ohio, which is kind of neat. I have some friends and family and people that I know and care about in Ohio, and I'm doing that secret project, which you'll probably see sometime in the summer, if that.
Do you think his special buddy is Cyrax? You know, somehow we have a separation of the two oddest forms of entities that exist, Cyrax the Goblin Man and Jabba the Hutt Boogie. I don't know, maybe there's a possibility. The weird things happen in Ohio, all right? You got losing sports franchises, you got cornfields. I mean, what else do you really need? That encompasses everything. Now, the one thing it doesn't encompass is the fact that Boogie is collaborating with Mike Klum on another documentary about EDP. And I don't want to spill my load too much in this video, because whenever that documentary comes out, I'll talk about it, obviously. And I'm also slightly afraid because YouTube absolutely despises EDP content on their platform. Despises it. They like try their best to get it off, get rid of it. So I'm not even going to show the picture. There's basically a picture on Twitter of Boogie and EDP sitting at like a kitchen table with food all around them. And I'm just going to say this. Platforming an actual pedo is bad. And being a part of it is bad. Boogie, I seem to remember that you were complaining that Mike Klum was, fudging numbers in your documentary. So why am I supposed to sit here and believe that this is going to be a documentary full of integrity? It's not actually going to be skewed in the way of giving EDP a chance to speak and protect himself and try and build up a platform once more. All right? There is zero reason for you to be involved, except I know why you're involved in the documentary. It's because you want to try and flex on somebody that's worse than you. There's not a lot of them out there in the world, but when Mike Club hit, and it doesn't even make any sense. I mean, because Boogie was abused by his parents, allegedly, as a kid. So that gives him expertise to show up and be involved in the documentary, Mike. That's odd. I don't like the idea. I'm never gonna have a situation where I'm giving Cyrax a platform to talk to all my viewers and say, you know what, guys? You know what? That 8-year-old, I thought there was a 1 in front of it, man. Oh, it's so fucked up, man. I really messed up. I'm not gonna give Cyrax that chance. You shouldn't do the same for EDP, and I think it's gross. And Boogie tried to conjure up this image of, well, of course I would accept having the opportunity to go yell at a pedo for 50 minutes. That's most definitely what's up. You're not as cool as you think you are, Boogie, all right? It's really grotesque that you would involve yourself with them while also trying to pretend like, oh yeah, you know, it's just humor. It's all humor, dude. Well, you're grooming a 19-year-old right now. Are we just gonna move past that? I guess we are. Oh well.
Going down here.
God forbid Boogie gets up out of his car after devouring a 4-piece chicken McNugget meal with 12 McDoubles on the side. God forbid he gets up off his ass and walks around inside of a museum for a little bit. You want to know the crazy part, Boogie? You want to know the crazy part? A lot of museums are actually designed so that you can stop and take a break like every 50 feet. Believe it or not, go to an art museum and you'll see. Now, yes, it might be difficult to maybe walk upstairs, but guess what, buddy? Ever since the turn of the century, we've had elevators.
I'm convinced everyone's got
crazy.
it shit.
It's crazy, but you can walk for 50 feet, sit down, take a break for 5 minutes, gaze around, look at the ceiling, look at the floor, look at the flab underneath your chin. And then you can get your ass up and walk around some more. That's how you lose weight, buddy.
Like, I'm thinking about, like, you know, the shit that. Never mind. I don't even listen to a word I'm saying. I love you. Bye bye.
That's how you lose weight. I know Chief Firewater got fucking eviscerated, disappeared from your life because you make really good judgments and you just don't have your healing powder, your midget powder that he's dusting onto your head from Beetlejuice. I know that that's disappeared, so you have to find an alternative to losing weight. And why not go to a good old-fashioned fast food restaurant?
This food, I'm already cheating a little bit because I had it last night while we were filming. I liked it so much I had to come back and get it again. This is a place called Swenson's. It's an old school drive-in. You park your car, the waiter comes up, he gets your stuff for you, gets your order. And I got a pretty solid menu. This is voted the best burger in Ohio. Actually, never mind. This is the Sloppy Joe. I wanted to try the Sloppy Joe. I haven't had a Sloppy Joe since I can remember, and I'm not making much of this one. It's not like I'm gonna make it at home, right? You're gonna try in a restaurant style. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's actually really good. You wanna try that? Yes. Here is the burger. This burger's called the Galley Boy. What do you think of the Sloppy Joe? It's really good. It's sweet, meaty, meaty. This is the Galley Boy. I don't know what's on it. America's best cheeseburger, voted Ohio's best cheeseburger. I think it's true. Because I don't know what this sauce is. But I will tell you, it's hot, fresh. It's got this sweet sauce, so you gotta try that too. That is probably the best burger I've ever had.
You gotta try that too. As I'm literally taking up, I don't know, 90% of the fucking screen. Is Desi even inside the car, or does she have to open the side door so that she can give you more space to take up the screen of this filming? Just absolutely massive. Just consuming my very pixels on my screen. Thank you very much, Boogie. And of course, you know, at least it's something new, right? He had McDonald's in the morning and now he's going to get something different. But it is kind of crazy because, I don't know, anytime I go to a different city, there's like a 0% chance I'm going to a fast food place unless it's literally my only option. Like if I show up at 11 p.m. at night and I haven't eaten all day and it's like, oh shit, I should get, I don't know, a fucking McDouble. And that'll be my dinner for tonight. I get that maybe. But when you're somewhere else, like find nice restaurants to go to. I know you can't really find Swenson's outside of like, maybe it's just Ohio, maybe it's the Midwest region, but hey, at least it's something new, right?
Leave me alone.
It's a quiet day in the zoo. It's a Friday and they close early, so you don't have to be very busy for very long. You're very pretty. Well, he looks right at you when you talk to him. Do I look delicious to you, sir or madam, as the case may be? Are you hungry for my meats? Oh, he is hungry. He is. Spite a mate, Desi, you're in trouble. Look at this giant tortoise. I think you can... Desi, what are you doing? Are you talking about me? Today, I did go ahead and rent the scooter. I know people get mad when I rent these, but I just saw this thing and I thought it would be really fun to scoot down it at about 800 miles an hour. It feels like, oh my God! Let me get speed going right. Oh, Desi! Desi, grab the back! Slow it down for the love of God!
This is epic, guys. This is really epic. When I turn on YouTube, I'm like, damn, I really hope I see a morbidly obese man flirting with a fucking cheetah and comparing that cheetah to his groomed girlfriend. That's most definitely what is up YouTube. That is definitely what I want to see. And the more I say it, the more I'm like, damn, why is nobody else calling out the fact that Boogie is very obviously grooming this girl? I ride one of these back home. Did I mention I was a virgin and my dad left me, but I moved in with Boogie after 3 months? That's most definitely what is up, YouTube. Most definitely. We're having the time of our lives. I can't even be fucked to walk down ramps. It's not even fucking stairs, Boogie. Can't even be fucked. I'll just take a fucking scooter around, because who cares?
You gotta eat. Don't forget, you gotta eat. This is a place called The Harp. It's an Irish pub. This is, I think they're called pierogies, garlic, onion. It's so good. Let's try it. Let's get into it. I've already started. Oh, that garlic, that onion, or still garlic. Potatoey. Irish people know how to eat. What's the taste like? Oh, it's so hot. It's too hot to eat. What's the meat in there? What is that?
I think that's beef or...
I don't know. It looks so good.
This is the most painful eating moment. It's like, if you're gonna be fat, at least be knowledgeable about the food you're eating, bro. I don't understand why an Irish pub is serving pierogies, because pierogies are Polish. They're not Irish, in case you didn't know, Boogie. But you are correct in saying that they're delicious. They are delicious. And in case you didn't know, Upper Ohio, I'm pretty sure, has a decently large Polish community. Why? I don't know. Why do I know that fact? I feel like it stumbled across me from one of my friend's parents when I played soccer growing up. And they ate pierogies. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And they hooked me up. And I was like, nice to know. And it's just been embedded in my brain for years and years since then. The next stage is that shepherd's pie looks delicious. I won't lie. Whenever they get the nice whip of the cream, the creamy mashed potatoes on top, and they get that nice crisp when they broil it under the oven, ooh, fuck me up. But it's called shepherd's pie because there's lamb in it. Oh my God, fucking insane, I know. Shepherd, lamb, oh my God. If it had beef in it, it would be a cottage pie, all right? I can't believe that I have to give a Gordon Ramsay level education to you, Boogie, about food. I thought there would be one thing in the entire world that you would just dwarf me in. Not just size, but in knowledge. And apparently it's not even food, buddy.
They basically forced dessert on us, but also Desi was begging for it. This is her favorite dessert in the world. This is creme brulee. I mean, nobody has a bad creme brulee. It's a dessert you can't go wrong with. And it's not so big that you're going to get sick off of it. Just a few bites. Share with somebody you love. Share everything with somebody you love. Being a travel vlogger like my friend Adam, taking the car bagger, that kind of thing. And I definitely want to do that with Desi. Even if it costs me money, I'm going to start saving up to do more stuff like this. And if you're watching these videos, you may go all the way into this. You're the reason I'm able to do this.
I really hope you're not in the shady, bad part of Cleveland. I'm trying to recall that Welcome to Cleveland, that song from early YouTube, and recall which part. Is it the east or west side of Cleveland that's bad? Either way, it looks like he's in a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Not looking good, dude. Not looking good. And this might be controversial. I'm gonna throw it out there. I really don't fuck with creme brulee. I don't. I'm more of a cake guy, more of an ice cream guy. Pudding doesn't really fuck with me, right? And I don't like the crispy top. It doesn't jive with me, all right? And of course, Boogie has to take a moment and say, it's only a couple bites, bro. Boogie even said, I'm not even that hungry for dessert. I'm not that hungry. But Desi, oh man, she was begging for dessert. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it worked out, buddy.
Well, I'm finally home from Ohio, and if you guys don't know this, my house has been vandalized. By the time you see this video, the issue should be mostly resolved. The offending party who did it should be in jail, especially because they admitted to doing it while I was out of town. The white sheet looks a lot better than the black plastics. Maybe we'll find another white sheet, but that's the one that says thief on it, just in case you were doubting if it was that person who thinks I stole from him. He's had to leave his calling card. And of course, I mean, he also admitted to it. So there's that too. He also talked about backing up on the lawn, peeling out on it. I guess I can kind of see the tire marks, but that's just kind of silly, right? Grass grows back. I don't even know. My lawn's so bad, I don't really think I can tell the difference. Oh, well, you can still see the tire marks and the dirt. Oh, I don't own that part of the lawn. That's city damage.
Here's the craziest part for me. I was trying to decipher if this was a real or fake story for the longest time, because this feels like it should be fake, right? This feels like it, but all the pieces kind of morph together. Boogie is not there, and his shaman has come out to be a psychopath. So it was just like the perfect melding of, wow, I guess the mindset of the shaman down there is not very well, not really working out. So basically, this guy spray paints on his garage, on his car, pulls a fucking dirt racing scene, drifting scene with Cyrax through the gravel, through the dirt, and also throws a rock through a window. That's most definitely what is up.
I didn't even know about this until he said it online in an interview. He admitted to doing this. And then we finally went and checked the studio to see if he was telling the truth, and he was. That's the window it came through. And you can see the glass down below, but there's not a lot. I must have really good windows. And then we have these blackout curtains and everything else. And I don't know how it didn't hit something important in here. But there it is, laying right there. It's a damn miracle that I wasn't sitting here, that I was in Ohio instead. And it's an even bigger miracle that nothing got hit. There's so much stuff that he could have destroyed here.
Look at all the important shit he could have destroyed, guys. He could have destroyed my Mountain Dew. Fuck, that's irreplaceable. Can't get rid of that. I mean, that's what, like $14 worth of Mountain Dew up there? Oh my God, Shaman. Can't believe that you almost destroyed that for me. Now, the one aspect of all this I'm going to bring some validity questions into is, so the shaman shows up, somehow is bewildered by the fact that Boogie's car is not there. So he decides to spray paint the other car, which I would think by that point he'd understand is not Boogie's car. Could be mistaken, but I think it was his roommate's car. And then he decides to take, like, you know, that knob on your like water faucet outside, breaks that off, throws it through the window, right? Kind of heavy, made of steel. And his roommate just doesn't clean up the glass off the floor? I mean, was he not there either? Did he go with them up to Cleveland? I mean, there's a lot of questions I have. I brought this up on stream with you guys that were there, and it seemed like it was kind of split 50-50 about whether or not you thought that this was a valid thing, or you think that he's in cahoots with the shaman. I really don't think he's in cahoots with the shaman because the shaman ended up getting arrested, but it's definitely not like the greatest look for Boogie in the entire world, I would say. At the very least, it is indicative that his decision-making skills are dog shit.
So, obviously it's still all over the wipers. It's all over the car itself. It's on the mirror frames, so that sucks. But we got this estimated to be cleaned by a professional for $800, so out $800, I'll survive. And it looks like Ryan has been taken into custody. And I cannot believe, obviously it's because he admitted to doing it and made further threats and things along that lines. And it's really interesting because a lot of people who have been trolls or detractors, or whatever you want to call them in the past, these people went as far as to write Ryan and talk to him and gather evidence for us. I cannot believe that people who would normally be after me took my side in this and helped keep us safe. And if it wasn't for people doing these interviews and getting Ryan to admit things or getting him to show the threats that he and his plans to do further harm, I don't think it would be as easy for the cops to do their jobs. Thank you. Have an abundance of caution then. But for now, it looks like we are safe.
I'll carry this sword for you, Boogie. Don't worry. I didn't do anything. I didn't help out. If anything, I was skeptical of the entire situation. But since you want to shout out the trolls, I'll bask in that light. I'll say thank you, Bookster. I know I was just clowning on you for being fat and not knowing what food is and not walking and being kind of pathetic and grooming your girlfriend and stuff like that. But thank you. Thanks, Bookster. Shout out to Boogie2988. Boogie 4 numbers. That's most definitely what is up.
And that he's claimed that you screamed in his dog's face.
What? A workout routine?
You were saying that you were there to help him lose weight initially.
Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Of me at his house, where I'm at his house, in his living room, performing metaphysical activity.
Yeah. So what about
So what did I do there? What did I do in that video?
I didn't see you yell at a dog's face.
No, I did not.
So you're saying that you didn't do that then?
That never happened.
So he's making up lies about you.
Of course he does. Next. Well, you'll find out why.
I mean, if he agreed to a contract like that and then backed out of the contract, I mean, that is
not backed out of the contract. He involved a city employee that stole them out of the back of my truck while we were at Macadoodles. If you read the police report, they're up for grand larceny right now. Do you know that?
These are text messages shared between Glenn and Flaming Star. Glenn being the friend that Boogie had returned the magic cards to him originally. They implied that the cards were taken without consent from Flaming Star's vehicle and not given willingly, like Boogie said prior.
I mean, the guy just straight up jacked the shit out of my truck and said, fuck you, after he did it.
So he openly is admitting to taking it out of the vehicle.
Yes. You can't make this up, man.
Thank God for Glenn, because I wouldn't have been able to do anything. But Ryan handed him over.
So this is just a convoluted he said, she said type of argument, right? In my unreleased Wings versus Wings 007 video, I made the same argument point that it's hard to really care or give interest or give a side when it's, this is Boogie's opinion of things and this is Flaming Water's opinion of things. And also, I know his name's Flaming Star. It's not Flaming Water. I thought it'd be funny. Since he's chief after all, he's a chief. But who knows if he yelled in the dog's face. Also, it would never be shown in the video if he did. If anything, you could I don't know, if Boogie wanted to try and own everybody and be like, see, this is how the guy actually is, show the uncut version of any videos you made with him. Show all the interactions. Maybe it's the same, it's just boring stuff you cut out, but maybe there's some interesting tidbits. Maybe it would tell me wow, these two are in cahoots and they're working together. I don't know. I'm not a genius. I'm not Sherlock Holmes. I'm just saturated content. I'm just doing what I'm trying to do. I'm doing it for the hood. I'm doing it for my crew.
So wait, you gave Desi psychedelics as well?
Yes, I did. On the second day.
Wow. That's not information that is like publicly known.
No.
So,
and guess what I did? Her story will tell you, if you ever get to hear her story, she'll tell you I sent her back to her homeworld in Orion's belt. And then a hand appeared out of nowhere, grabbed her and brought her back to Earth. And he was right because that's your exact horoscope? How the fuck does that happen? His house was firebombed. They threw the lid from the water pump. I actually picked up the lid that covers the water. It's steel, and threw it through the window that he streams out of. Threw it through the window, hoping he was sitting there, but he wasn't. He wasn't home. And then I backed my truck up to his front door and peeled out with my truck from the front door all the way to the fucking street. Ruined his lawn. And then I went home, and it was actually in a car accident. Then all of a sudden, I get a call from a sergeant, from the Fayetteville Police Department talking about criminal mischief, and I said, there's 1,700 pissed off Indians under my band. 1,700. And that man took our whole seed for this spring's crop by me spending the money to buy the supplements that we gave him, because what he doesn't tell you is the 1,400 in supplements that we gave him, the money for the mescaline trip that I put him on, the money for the mushroom trip that I put her on, the 100,000 for the cards. Do you know what that all totals to? It totals to $127,000.
He is taking mushrooms with Boogie. That's cool. You know, as a hopeful future parent, I can't wait for that to be my kids. Wow, honey. You decided to date a 50-year-old disabled man whose dick can't get hard and who takes mushrooms all the time. That's super cool. You're really living life to the fullest, sweetie. Can't wait until you get back from your next trip. And then Flaming Star decides to just go hard and just admit to everything. That's cool. Yeah, good job, buddy. This information definitely will not be used in court someday.
Does Boogie have a reason to be afraid? Just on the record now.
Yes, he was. I made a public statement with the Fayetteville Police Department. Let me show you that. They know. It's not. I even tagged the government in it. So what he did.
I agree.
He filmed me. He made money off of that fucking video. He made money off of the video, the second video that I made, and then he made a public fool out of me twice. I think he has less than that, actually, because of the financial stuff that I saw. He only had $5,000 in the bank, and he only makes $3,300 a month.
So you think that he's like income-wise, he's not doing too good?
He's doing horrible, but he's pretending like everything's okay. I think he loses his house at the end of 12 months if he doesn't refinance. And I said, just to be a dick, I'm going to pay the houses on your tax. I'm going to pay the taxes on your house this year. If you don't pay me back in 2 years, I get your house. I have to give a public announcement. My name is Chief Flaming Star of the Cherokee tribe known as Cherokee. My band is an intricate group of people that heal others. I hope that my story inspires you to be better and greater than who you actually are. Know this, you have to go through the darkest trials of your life in order you could ever stand truly into the light. May the positive vibrations of the universe forever be in your favor.
So Chief Flaming Water really goes hard in the paint at the end. He basically talks about how, Boogie should be afraid of me. He should be terrified. And then claims he was unaware of being filmed during Boogie's video and during Mike Klum's video somehow, some way, and that Boogie is keeping money and food out of the mouths of Flaming Star's like 2,000 followers or something. It's just completely deranged nonsense, and I'm just not gonna give it the time of day. All right, I'm not. Either way, let me know what you guys think down below. Is Boogie the next in line chief of Tribe Flaming Water of Dancing Moon? Let me know down below. I'd be very curious. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Yo, send me that one guy, the one Republican guy. I want to look at his TikToks now. Date right stuff. Yep, that's the dude. That's the boy.
I can't afford a home. I don't feel safe. Groceries are way too expensive. My entire neighborhood is filled with homeless people.
Bro, you are a Republican who has worked actively in the Trump administration. You literally have contributed to the problem, and your worldview is responsible for every single issue that you mentioned. Whether it be not fixing the housing market and deregulation, you are genuinely, openly in defense of moneyed interest. What are we talking about? Also, no, he's not drinking beer out of a straw, right? I hope that it's just like a water. He's drinking water.
Best I can do is ban TikTok.
Yeah, this kind of pops, but he's
You're
like
probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm glad my mother was a woman.
What? Why are people saying at least your mother wasn't Freddy Fazbear? Oh God, I hate this meme. I hate this meme. This is the defense that TikTok has launched against this guy is the Freddy Fazbear shit. That's what they're doing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay.
Remember, when you're arguing with a boomer, you're actually arguing with the television, and the TV can't hear you, and it doesn't care. Just remember when you're arguing.
Yeah, if you noticed the fact that, I mean, regardless of like his underlying opinions and his extensive experiences in the Republican administration, his goal here is to talk about like broad generalizations. His goal here is to make it seem as though, you know, he is the reasonable guy, the common sense guy. That's all he's doing.
I think I have depression. Here's an antidepressant pill with a side effect of suicide. If the vaccine was so great, why is it so easy to find people who regret taking it, but not a single person who regrets not taking it?
I don't regret, wait, what? I don't regret taking it, but I'm pretty sure you can't really find people, what? The ones who didn't take it are dead. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. I don't even fully understand what the fuck he's saying. Wait, we gotta run it back.
If the vaccine was so great, why is it so easy to find people who regret taking it?
Is it? Is it easy to find people who regret taking it? I guess maybe in his circles.
Not a single person who regrets not taking it.
Yeah, I think the people who probably regret not taking it, that, you know, you can't really talk to them like they're dead. You can't talk to the people who regret not taking it because they died. There were plenty of stories during COVID of people begging for the vaccine in their final moments, barely speaking through a tube shoved down their necks. And the ones that didn't die, that didn't take it, are like, yeah, I survived, so who cares? It's great. I'm glad I didn't take it. There's a guy on Instagram that stitches this guy's videos and always talks about Freddy Fazbear, my goat. No, I don't like that.
It's funny how things change. 10 years ago, everyone was scared of trans fats, but now everybody celebrates fat trans.
I hate him. The giggle at the end got me. No, this is the other side of TikTok that is just like conservative TikTok. It's like the Deborah builds. Your videos are true. This might be my favorite. You crack me up. You're hilariously observant. Love it. And it's like, it's just like all the Deborahs and the Barbaras that are just horny for this guy.
That drag queens never go read to the elderly? Ever notice that drag queens never go read to the elderly?
Why would anybody read to the elderly? What are you saying? People are trying to say yes they do. Is that a thing? The elderly can read, man. What the fuck is going on? He's the gayest looking conservative? Nah, he's not gay.
Has anyone noticed that if you fly the American flag, everyone knows who you're voting for? So gay people are gay because they were born that way. but trans people aren't their sex, even though they were born that way. Got it.
All jokes on this freak aside, pretending to be the reasonable guy while saying absolute nonsense is super effective because most people are morons. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The problem is, I think leftists can learn from this guy's success in messaging. You can't do this. There is no way to emulate this on the left. And the reason for why is that if you are a leftist and therefore an anti-capitalist, you have to work on, one, dismantling the things that people take for granted, dismantle the systems that people have grown up under and have developed a sense of appreciation for, only to then rebuild it. There's no way that you can like point to existing constructs in the way that he is doing. Because here, let's break this down. He's saying gay people are born that way, which I don't even think he believes. I think he's probably homophobic as well. So, but he's saying like, let's say he believes that gay people are gay because they were born that way, right? And then he talks about trans people. First of all, he's operating with ignorance. He's weaponizing ignorance in this situation. Sexuality and sexual preferences are fundamentally different than gender being a social construct. And if you are to try and turn it into a biological conversation in the way that he tries to make with sexuality, okay, because he's trying to reduce it down to like an equivalence here. He's trying to make an equivocation between sexuality and gender, okay? Even on the biology front, most people don't fully understand it. Most people don't understand that gender, or the biological gender, sex, right, if you want to use antiquated terminology, is still not a binary, is not a binary in real life, but most people think it is.
Or aren't their sex, even though they were born that way. But trans people...
You have to remember, a lot of people are stupid, okay? And you can craft infinitely better arguments for stupid people on the conservative side, because you can always rest on the laurels of pre-existing social dynamics and just demand more of it. You can just rest on it and go, isn't everything that we know normal, and everyone else that's telling you that things are not normal are actually weird and gross and wrong? Most people can vibe with that. There is no way that you can make this on a leftist side. There is no progressive argument that you can make that is this simple and this effective, especially when progressive argumentation relies on like actual evidence, actual data, and not just feelings and a collective consciousness, a collective ignorance that we share, born out of a lack of interest in genuinely learning about things, thoroughly investigating things, re-examining the social conditioning that we've been subjected to since birth. He's just doing boomer newspaper comics in a TikTok format. Exactly. That's the problem. Yes, anti-losing is correct. Reactionary messaging is inherently about simplification, and progressive messaging is inherently about re-education and explanation. So there is not really a way that you can do that unless we lived in like bizarre world, reverse world, where we were living in a communist universe and people had this collective understanding that like a communist way of thinking was the shared norm, and gender abolition was the shared norm and was normal. In that world, it would be very difficult for a reactionary person to try to fucking reduce it back to a binary. It's almost impossible to imagine the world that I'm trying to explain to you, but we do exist in the reverse of that reverse world. Yeah, I do this regularly as well. You're right. Best leftist version of the simple is don't be a dick and also be normal. Exactly. Be normal. That's it. That is the best argument that you can make towards this guy. Is just like, bro, you're eating delicious tacos. All right, not tacos. What is this? I mean, I guess those are tacos. These aren't. Those are enchiladas? I don't know. I don't know what those are. Whatever. I'm the worst Los Angeles taquitos. Thank you. Not enchiladas. Taquitos and tacos. You're eating taquitos and tacos. That guac looks pretty good. And you're over here filming yourself doing this thing where you're like worrying about what the fuck is going on with trans people. What the fuck's wrong with you? Be normal. Eat your goddamn taquitos or shut the fuck up. Okay? It's so stupid.
Always get the extra side of orange chicken, just in case. Imagine being one of our politicians. You steal everyone's money and still end up 35 trillion in debt.
This is what I mean. This is great, okay? This is great. This is like inherently an apolitical approach, even though he's very clearly